And of course, we're starting off with a really crappy connection. What's up, Perps? You have to forgive the garb here. I've been working and I'm a little sweaty. Hold on, let me check this real fast because. All right, so let's see what we got. We give it a minute or two to see if anybody shows up. I didn't see Crump and Rich and Dark going live, so I decided to just fire up the stream. So we'll see how it goes because YouTube really doesn't like to advertise my channel at all. Wonder why. Matter of fact, let me do something. Let me post something real fast. Because I'm pretty damn sure even right now, if you search for me live, it won't pop up. You got to go through a couple more hoops to even see that I'm live. Which, hey, YouTube, eat a bag for that one. I got a couple of tabs open and a couple I got to close. But yeah, so give me a second. Let me post this. Hell, I'm going to grab another beer. I just got home, so I'm like flying through everything right now. Trying to get this cranked up. Because this is really freaking annoying. Considering I think we passed constitutional carry in 2022, and now this asshat's wanting to get rid of constitutional carry because crime in Montgomery's bad. It's Montgomery, you asshats. The criminals were carrying guns in Montgomery before constitutional carry. Guess what? They're carrying them after constitutional carry, and they're not going to put them down anytime soon. How about we arrest the violent people and put them in prison, leave the rest of us the fuck alone? What's that? You're not supposed to use language in the first little part of a stream. Yeah, that might be some of my issue some days, actually. It's just very annoying, to say the least. And I'll tell you guys kind of how. Hold on, let me post something else. Because, like I said, apparently, used to be when I started a stream, I could search for my stream and it would pop up. Pretty much out in the open, but it doesn't do that no more. Chessboard, what's up, my brother man? So, like I said, I didn't see Crump and everybody going live, so I decided to go ahead and fire one off. All right, I think I'm getting everything set now. Matter of fact, give me a second. Give me just a minute. Hold on. Second. Give me a second. All right. So I had to grab a beer. Fire me. Let me plug in some stuff here too. Said I'm just getting home trying to fire this up because I want to get into this because this is absolutely annoying. Plug that in. All right. So should be good audio, video, all that. Well, maybe not so much on the video. God knows if I had an actual decent connection. No, I've been staying away from the donuts lately, Chess. Oh, man. So, while I'm dropping stuff. Where the hell did it go? Damn gremlin stole it. I'll find it in a second. I'm losing my mind and everything else. Got a goon beam there. There it is. So, and I might edit this later. This is kind of a run-in video. I might edit this later and throw it in as a standalone video. But so today, what time was it? I'll tell you. Hold on. This will come up. So 1 o'clock today, Warsaw hits me up and says, "Coop, did you see this video coming out of Alabama yet?" No, I haven't seen it yet. Jared from Guns and Gadgets put out a video. Representative Reed Ingram in Alabama wants to, and this is a Republican, wants to basically take conceal and carry, constitutional carry, throw it in the trash, and then go back to a permitting system or a system where you have to ask the government for permission, or if a police officer noticed you were carrying a firearm, they could come over, question you, take your firearm. If you couldn't prove your identity or whatever else, say you left the house to go to drive down the road, go see a buddy or something, leave your wallet at the house, you get pulled over on the way back. Oh, well, you don't have your ID. There's all sorts of bullshit this could work into. Yeah, Chess, I've been following that too. Because Maine originally, I believe they were the ones that originally had the yellow flag laws. Now they're moving to red flags. So yeah, it's going on everywhere, man. It's freaking insane. And I really hope I'm wrong on this next election, because if I'm right on this next election, this shit only gets worse. Way worse. So that's the way this is running. But anyway, Warsaw texted me first about it, and then Night Strike hit me up. Same thing. Hey, did you see what's going on? Yeah, I'm just now finding out about this shit. So let me try to find the right tab here, as always, because it's me. You guys wouldn't follow me if I wasn't a complete shit show. Where's that? Should be this one. Yeah, we'll hit this one, then we'll go into who this guy actually is. We'll watch this news story real quick. You guys let me know if the audio is good and all that, as usual. I really want to call the cable company and cuss them out right now. Come on, load you bitch. No, whether it's StreamYard.
Gun violence is causing problems across the state, and tonight one sheriff is urging lawmakers to do something about it. Welcome to WSFA 12 News at 10. I'm Brady Talbert. The Montgomery County Sheriff says his deputies need help to curb crime. He's advocating for a newly proposed bill backed by a Republican targeting concealed carry laws. Reporter Julia Avant.
And yeah, we're going to talk about Ingram in a minute. Ingram's the one who actually is proposing this bill. I can't find the text of the bill yet. So this is something that's coming that hasn't been, there's no text on Alabama's legislature's website yet.
Has the new reaction tonight.
We enforce law. You can't enforce nothing that you don't have.
Okay, that already makes my head hurt. We enforce law. You can't enforce nothing that you don't have. Yes, there's no law that says you can stop people from concealing and carrying firearms. You jackass. If you catch them committing a crime with the firearm, you have all the laws in the fucking world to do something with. And notice something in this story. Most of the handguns they show in this news story all have Glock switches on them.
Montgomery County Sheriff Derek Cunningham says he and his deputy serving justice. That's because of Alabama's current concealed carry law.
It behooves the law enforcement officer
God
to
damn.
stop you to guess who you are. And normally when we stop people, everybody got a fake name that they use.
Change by backing
PLA,
Representative
what's up, my brother?
Ingram's newly proposed bill.
If you don't want the enforcement to have to and hold it until they come in and show their ID.
The bill would also change the age to concealed carry from 19 to 21. Those with a weapon must receive a permit from the sheriff's office or pass a hunter safety course to legally conceal. Cunningham says this would eliminate violence without punishing responsible gun owners.
These are the people that are out here causing the havoc. A good, hard-working person that want to carry a gun for protection, they're going to have those measures. They're going to have the things in place that they need.
Representative Ingram says the bill would also allow officials to see if a gun was stolen. As for the passing of the bill, it's uncertain, with only weeks left of this year's legislative session. Julia Avant, WSFA 12.
Yeah, so let me kill that, and I'm going to switch over to another one in a second. Maybe this will kind of help things a little bit. But anyway, we've only got a couple weeks left in session for Alabama's legislative session this time. I haven't even seen the text of this bill submitted yet. So there's no chance it's going to go through this session. Yeah, that's cool. So like I said, that's the reason I went ahead and did this now is I'm not going to be able to go too late tonight, just because shit going on. And, Crump and nobody else was on, so I decided just to run it. But so anyway, the funny thing is Ingram, he actually voted for constitutional carry when it came up in the Alabama House. He voted for it. Now he's talking to the sheriff, and the sheriff's saying, "Oh, we need to be able to ID people. If they're not committing a crime, you don't need their damn ID. There's no reason to stop me. You notice a bulge. Oh, well, I got to see who you are. No, you don't have to see who I am. I'm not committing a crime. I'm doing something that's constitutionally protected. No different than me going out and speaking somewhere." Yeah, apparently he put on his red coat and he's deciding to switch the script, because I had to dig up a couple of articles. These are text articles, so they shouldn't give me a huge problem sharing them. Should be this one. All right, so this runs through the actual House vote for constitutional carry. And of course, it's
filled with a bunch of horse shit. But to start off, said the Alabama House of Representatives on Tuesday approved legislation allowing permitless concealed carry of firearms with 65 to 37, with 9 Republicans joining 28 Democrats. And I got to look and see who those are. Against constitutional carry. The legislation goes to the Alabama Senate. And it runs down all the way down here. And it says in Montgomery County, in the Montgomery County delegation, Reps Reed Ingram, Republican from Pike Road, Charlotte Meadows, Republican Montgomery, Chris Sells, Republican from Greenville, voted for the bill. So he voted for this bill, voted for constitutional carry when it initially came up. I'm dying to see the text of his retarded ass bill now. And I'm going to have to look at the crime statistics in Montgomery now versus what they were in 21-22. And as far as I haven't been able to find those numbers yet. That's part of what I'm trying to dig up. And part of the reason I came home, didn't shower or anything else, and started cranking this up. So he votes for it, for the initial passage. Now he's the one sponsoring a bill that'll basically gut constitutional carry and turn it back into what it was, where you need a permit, or hey, you can take a hunter safety course and then you can carry a gun. That makes zero fucking sense. I'm not concealing carrying my gun because a deer's going to jump my ass. And again, we get back to the mere act of carrying a firearm is not a crime. Even in the Alabama state constitution, there's nothing in the Alabama state constitution that gives these dickheads the power to regulate arms. It's not there. I have to go back and find another clip where I can't remember what it was, the Alabama House or the Alabama Senate. Two guys are talking, and they admit then we pass unconstitutional bills all the time. We leave it to the legislature to figure this out. Matter of fact, I showed it the show I did with Legal Man. I showed that clip when I was doing that show with Legal Man, because all the stuff with constitutional carry was going on then. Damn, it doesn't seem like I've had this channel up that long, but I have. But yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. And to show you another one, where is my other tab? Because I've got a few open. So let's share this tab instead. So this basically gives you this guy's voting record. This is our boy Ingram. And I swapped it, or went down to the 21-22 session. And let's see. It says he voted yes on the Second Amendment Preservation Act. So we get down here to constitutional carry, which was HB 272. So he voted yes on constitutional carry. Now he's coming back, and I will guarantee you, crime in Alabama and crime in Montgomery specifically, because that's where this guy's at, that's where this retarded ass sheriff is at, that hadn't changed too much at all. Montgomery's been a shithole for a long time. Trust me, been there. Don't have the t-shirt. It smelled like weed. But it's ridiculous for this. Like some of the arguments against constitutional carry where all these criminals are going to be carrying guns. They're already carrying the guns. Already. So whether you go back to some sort of permitting system or anything like that, you retards, all you're doing is harming the people who aren't a threat to anybody. Do I have that? Oh, do I have that other article up? I don't think I had that one up. Hold on. Let me try something, because it wasn't this article, I don't think. It was another one. Oh hell, let's run. We'll run through a little bit of this real quick. So this is that same article. So Alabama had the 5th highest rate of death from gun violence among the 50 states and the District of Columbia in 2019, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. There were 22.2 gun deaths per 100,000 in Alabama that year. The number of Alabamians who died from gun that year was 1,000, and of course, those are suicides. You assholes. Is a large majority of that number. Let's see. This wasn't the one that sheriff talking. Anyway, what this really comes down to, guys, and I'll tell you this right now. And if I could find that other article, I'd have brought that up. What this comes down to is this Montgomery sheriff's budget is hurting. And he's putting it in this dude's ear that we need these permits. We need people to start paying for these permits again because we, the sheriffs, we don't have the money to go do things. That's exactly what this is going to come down to. The article I had up earlier, fucking clipped the article for some reason. And almost every other article before then had to do with funding, had to do with money, them losing revenue from losing permits. That was the majority of that article. I think it mentioned funding and it mentioned revenue like 19 times, and it mentioned safety like 3. So that's exactly what these pricks are worried about. Now, Alabama tried to pass some stuff to give some of these sheriffs a little bit more funding. I don't care whether they get that funding or not. You assholes know who the criminals are, because most of the time they're all repeat criminals. You know where the crime happens. Concentrate on the areas where the crime's happening and concentrate on the actual violent criminals, and you can take care of a lot of this. But there is no damn reason on this planet where, say, I do something in a store and I go to lift my arms a little bit and a little bit of my gun shows, and an officer comes around and goes, "Hey, let me see your license. Who are you? Let me look at your gun. Let me look at your serial numbers." One, fuck off. I carry a goddamn gun that I built. It's a ghost gun. It has no serial numbers on it. So kiss my ass. It ain't happening any damn way. Yeah, Warsaw. And Warsaw's good, man. If he sees something I don't, man, Warsaw will fire it off to me quick. And sends me a hell of a lot of good stuff. That's like him sending me this today. I had no freaking idea this was happening today. Or that this story was out there until Warsaw sent me a message on it. And then it was a little bit later, Night Strike sent me something on it. Because again, I've looked at the legislation. All the bills in Alabama that are up right now, all the text of the bills, and it's not there. The last bill I think was posted on 4/16. And I can't remember exactly what that was. And I'll show you guys. Let's go for another screen share. Alabama legislature. Here we are. So I was looking up my buddy's email address and everything and all his information. This is him. So Elmore County, Montgomery County. Yeah, he's going to get an email. Not like it'll probably help any, but he's going to get an email later. But if we go in here and then we can search for bills in current session. Search for firearms. Roll down here. These are all the bills. Hold on. That didn't pull up everything. Let me do something. Let me back all the way back out and let's do this bill search again. So these are all the current firearms bills. No, hold on. Why is it not showing everything? I know I'm. Hold on. I'll unscrew that in a second. But either way, his bill ain't showing up. So it hadn't been introduced yet. At least not to any committees that have posted the actual text of bills yet, which is awfully fucking annoying. So this will probably come up next session. Bearded guy, what's up, my brother? Kiss my, I was looking something up. What do you want? And yeah, the tamest down there you see is my wife. I had my hands busy. But let's see. So it's crazy to me. I'm still trying to. Hold on, Warsaw. I'll hit you up. I got pizza. So don't worry about dinner. I got it squared. And you normally don't call me till after 6 o'clock anyway, heifer. Gabriel, what's up, brother? See, you normally don't call me till after 6 o'clock. Hold on. What am I doing? I know I'm doing something. Swear to God I am. Oh, I already got my email up. All right, Warsaw, I'll just hit you. I'm still trying to figure out why the rest of these bills are not popping up on this search. Because there are a few bills about firearms in Alabama right now. Current sessions. Hold on, something screwy. Let me bring that whole freaking page back up. Because this is going to get annoying because I was just freaking looking at it. What in the hell? Institutions, am I freaking... I know I'm crazy, but why is it only showing... That's in the judiciary. Firearms holds. I just had these bills up, and it is not showing all the bills. That's like all the bills in the history from Alabama. Give me a sec, guys. I know, but you can't see. You changed it up. I know what you did. You saw I was live and just decided to call me. I know what you did. But I'm still... All right, this is the list. Why that wasn't coming up originally, I have no idea. I'll show you there are a couple that have passed through the House. What's up, War?
This is pissing me off, dude. Like, they're going after your state now, and it's like I see these crime videos all over across the country, and like first I see a guy's face getting ripped off his face by like some fucking animal that's now becoming a cannibal, and now there's also a raid of fucking 10 pedophiles that got arrested, and now they're doing this. I'm like,
well,
I knew it. I knew they're doing this for fucking funding, dude. I called it. I fucking knew it.
Yeah, I'll dig up another one of those articles that I read, and I read it back in 21 or 22. And if you look up the articles from back then, it was all these sheriffs. They mention public safety every once in a while, but they're always mentioning funding, funding for training, funding for cars, funding for all their cool gadgets and toys, and paying for all.
Why can't you just stick with what they got?
You know, they are not worried about public safety at all. They will tell you they are, but they're worried about their fucking budgets. And that's the most annoying thing about it.
I mean, Coop, I've seen you ever been to Michigan by any chance?
No.
You ever seen you never seen the blue squad cars up there in Michigan?
No.
Dude, they're so outdated, but at the same time, it's like, if you can drive a vehicle that's like old from like the 90s and shit, you can handle it yourself, especially with your funding you currently have.
Oh, they can do tons of shit with the funding they have, and they know they can. But again, they want that extra.
They always want the dough.
Dude, down here in Russell County, this small ass little county we live in, this mostly fucking rural, them some bitches got a damn MRAP. Which I know they get it through government lending programs and shit like that. But still, come on, man.
Well, I just sent you those two videos, man. I was just disturbed by the first one where you got guys that are now eating people.
Oh, well, hell, man, we're going to have more problems with that considering the amount of Haitian cannibals that have probably slipped into the country already.
Well, let alone the fucking sick fucking motherfucking pedophiles, dude.
Yeah, Bob, big armored vehicle, big tires, armored everywhere, bullet resistant, all that shit. Yep. Russell County. I mean, for the most part, we have small neighborhoods, kind of spread out neighborhoods. We have a lot of fields, a lot of farms. I'm pretty sure the deer aren't that big of an issue around this joint. But yeah, matter of fact, someone told me not too long back, I can't remember who it was, but was talking about some of the weapons that our sheriff's department has for like their SWAT. And you're talking about like MP5s and shit like that.
M4 carbines.
Oh, no doubt they've got M4s.
And I'm guessing Benelli shotguns.
But yeah, it's again, we get back to the fact that this is about funding. This ain't about nothing else but fucking funding.
Yeah, screw you guys over, put the noose around you, and don't go after the criminals.
It's freaking crazy. This guy England right here, which yeah, this dude. I'll run you through the bills real quick. So this is firearms and offenses. This was the first one introduced, I think. This was failure to inform. So if you had interaction with an officer and you didn't tell him you had a gun on you, I think he wanted it bumped from misdemeanor to a felony. This bill basically was about machine gun parts. They try to tailor it towards Glock switches, but the way this bill's worded, it would really encompass a lot of shit that's got nothing to do with making a gun full auto. Oh yeah, they've got a do not sell list from this dumbass, which is basically someone putting themselves on a list to, hey, don't sell firearms to me. I think in Washington State, even with the amount of leftists in Washington State, when they passed theirs, I think they had like 13 people on that list doing the Lord's work. I'm telling you.
Well, and now we also got this one coming in Colorado, man. It's not looking pleasing.
Oh, there's a bunch coming in Colorado, brother.
Colorado, you got ones in Kentucky and Tennessee. Dude, Tennessee, the amount of fucking leftist children and fucking deranged people out there, dude. Oh, God, man.
Dude, at least the majority of shit Tennessee's passing is good, like arming teachers and more protections for Second Amendment and all that. Tennessee's a state that has a real super majority in the House and the Senate of Republicans.
Yeah, but how long is that going to last, though?
Well, that's the thing. If these courts don't get their shit straight, and if that ever flips just a little bit, then you're screwed.
it takes less than 5 years, and that changes everything, dude.
Yeah. So what else we got for Alabama? So we got a red flag law in Alabama.
Fucking A.
And then we've got. So I think this one was the assault weapon, basically an assault weapons ban from this moron. So we got that going. Then we got a bump stock bill in Alabama right now. I don't think that's went anywhere. This one I think is the one that actually passed the judiciary the other day. So this was about not having your firearm secured properly, and a kid brings your firearm to school. They want to charge the parents. It's fucking ridiculous, but that's it. Because there's so many ways that could go wrong. This was the other one about assault weapons. This one actually provided for registration of your assault weapons. Hey,
now there were a couple pasting other people's laws.
Yeah, it's all Brady and fucking Giffords, man. They're just copy and pasting shit.
Mom's man actions.
Yeah. Now we do have a couple in here for financial institutions not being able to use transaction codes. So that would make it illegal for any financial institution in Alabama to use any sort of transaction code, but they still get around that shit. Here's another one. This is a safe storage law for unreasonably securing a firearm stolen by a parent or possession of a child. This is another safe storage law, basically criminalizing, having your firearm sitting out.
Yeah, but if you're buying a firearm with a credit card, I don't want to do that. I just write a check, or I actually, pay cash up front.
Well, either way, man, unless you're paying cash and not doing a 4473, they can find the gun. I mean, now this one I was actually kind of interested in a little bit. This was a firearms hold agreement. So this would allow someone in crisis to go to an FFL or go to a police department, sheriff's department, something like that, and basically turn their guns over to them, have them store them for a period of time, and then the law enforcement agency or FFL would be able to return those guns after the agreed to amount of time. That bill doesn't bother me as much, but I think it ought to cover more private entities. Like Walk the Talk America and Hold My Guns. Those guys try to set up agreements with FFLs to hold people's guns, if they're in crisis or something like that. I think it ought to go to more private entities like that. But so far reading the bill, I didn't see any kind of criminal penalties or anything in any of it, and didn't. That on top of one of the red flag laws could go bad. That could lead to a whole situation where, oh, hey, what did they do? They had someone hold their guns for them. Oh, red flag their ass. So, and luckily enough, none of our red flag law, I don't think, is going to go anywhere. But
I mean, apart from red flag law, I mean, we talked about this in the past. Remember that Georgia case with the families?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just that. I mean, there's been multiple mess ups in different state governments for misrepresenting people and stuff. What was it? Oh, yeah. I sent you that video of that kid that was locked up, but the judge actually dismissed the case because he didn't have a warrant for his arrest or something.
Yeah, I haven't had time to watch it yet, man. I had to go to work, move a bunch of equipment around, and then blast it here to do this.
Yeah, but the judge was pissed because it didn't match up with the paperwork, so he dismissed it.
He should have. Let's see. Let's look through what these bills are doing. So the bill about financial institutions not being able to use codes, that's motion to read for a third time. So this is sitting, I think that was a Senate. Yeah, that's a Senate bill. So that one's on the Senate floor.
Man, Alabama, man.
So this one, crimes and offenses. This is one that passed the other day, though. Firearms criminal penalty for unreasonably secured firearms stored by a parent in the possession of a child. So this passed the judiciary, and now it's out on the house floor.
And do you think the house is going to kill it?
I hope they do, but we'll see. And then,
I mean, if you're going to prosecute people, it should never be your child. It should never be the parents. It should be the child.
Now, the machine gun parts bill, that was read for a second. It passed the judiciary. It's been read for the second time in the House. And
here's what I understand. So why is it the machine gun parts? I mean, it's already banned on the federal level. Why does it need to be passed on the state level?
Well, what they're trying to do is see the feds and their dirty little nature. A lot of these machine gun cases are coming up. The feds aren't prosecuting them.
You mean you talk about the Glock auto sears?
The Glock switches, dropping auto sears, you name it. The feds aren't prosecuting that shit.
So they're trying to do it on a state
level. So the states are trying to do it. Now, the way this gets fucked up is, so say like AKs that I built, you order an AK kit, or you could order a set me kit or anything like that. A D-mill
of course, kit. Right? The surplus auto sear.
Yeah, they send you all of the parts. So when you come home and you pick that box up, you are now in possession of a machine gun. Or if you don't immediately rip everything apart, throw the auto sear in the neighbor's yard, you bring everything in the house, you lay out parts, and you're separating everything out. Guess what? You're in possession of a illegal machine gun.
Yeah, and I mean, theoretically, Coop, if you're going to buy a kit, or if anybody else was going to buy a kit, I'd say if your state's trying to do that, I'd say call up the company and say, hey, I'm going to buy a kit, but I need you to remove that auto sear out of the box.
That would be the way to try to do it. If they push shit like this, it definitely would be. Because with the exception, let me see, I built one. With the exception of one AK kit that I've ordered, the auto sear came with it. And then I've just got to go destroy the auto sear. Breaks my fucking heart, but I've got to go do that.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, even if I just throw it somewhere, constructive possession or some bullshit like that, even though I've had built the guns, had them for years and never, drilled another hole in them and turned them into a fucking machine gun. So it's, oh man, it annoys me when someone who's supposed to be a Republican. Now this guy's up for election, I think in 26.
He's on the verge of being a turncoat rhino right at this point.
Yeah. And it really is just the sheriff in Montgomery putting pressure on him, going, we need more funding. We need more funding. We lost all this money.
Screwing your own citizens.
Yeah. Fuck all that, It just, they were, oh man, if I can find the video, and I've searched for it and can't find it, the arguments in the House when they were talking about passing constitutional carry, where these people got up there and blew the lines out, and there's going to be blood in the streets, and people are going to be killing judges, and they're, the sky hasn't fallen. Crime is pretty much continuing the same levels that it has. All you did was allowed people to be able to carry, defend themselves without having to ask your permission. And now you're just missing out on the money. So you're pissed about missing out on the money. Close to home, Mississippi. What's up, Mississippi? Hey, Bob, I don't think I said hi to you, brother. How's it going? But it's what it's coming down to, is it's coming down to money.
Yep.
They want
line manipulating and just saying fuck you to your citizens and take your money away from you.
Yeah. They're worried about budgets. And this guy talking about, and it again, getting back to part of it, this guy talking about, he sees someone with a gun, they got to stop him. They can't stop him and ask for ID, or they can't stop him and ask to see the gun to look for the serial number to see whether it's stolen or not. If they're not using that gun to rob somebody, rape somebody, murder somebody, do whatever, assault somebody, they're not committing a crime with that gun. They merely are in possession of a gun. It's none of law enforcement's fucking business at all. Well, we got to see that. No, you don't. You ain't got to see shit. What if they commit a crime with it later? Well, then you prosecute them for that crime. What if we can't find them? Do better fucking police work.
I mean, if you got a defaced firearm right there, then go after them.
Dude, it's like I said, I carry my gun that I carry every day. This isn't serialized.
No, but the ones that have serial numbers under the fucking frames, or even like on a lower, that should be enough for them to go after them.
Well, that's if they get to look at the serial number. But
Yeah,
my thing is, if I'm not committing a crime with it, you don't need the fucking serial number off my
Yep.
gun. I got pissed. It's been a few years. We were on a gator hunt. Me, my dad, I think my wife was hunting with us. And I can't remember who else we had. There might have been one other person with us that night. And we got stopped by the game wardens, federal game wardens. Or no, those were state. Either way, you know, they want to check licenses. Yeah, that's fine. You know, ask what we're doing, look at the gear. And then dude wanted the gun. And all it was a little H&R 22 revolver. I was like, fuck you need the gun for? I need on the boat right there, called in serial numbers off of it. To me, that's fucked up. I'm sorry. You already check licenses and all that. You knew we weren't committing a crime. Why do you need the serial numbers off my gun? Now that little H&R 22 is so fucking old they couldn't find a damn single record on it. But still, what? That's guilty until proven innocent, you know?
Not innocent until proven guilty.
It's completely fucking backwards. And so I thought about it today after listening to some of this shit. And it's been a while since I've been pulled over. But if I get pulled over and the officer goes, "Are you carrying a gun?" I'm going to tell him yes. And if he asks me, "Can I see it?" I'm going to go, "No." No, you can't. Not committing any crimes. You may have me on like a speeding ticket, but kiss my ass. No, you don't get to search my shit. You're not searching my truck. You're not getting my gun. If you don't like it, fucking kiss off. And yeah, Bob, you're right. It went to the federal courts. One of the federal courts shot it down and said even a defaced serial number isn't a crime. Constitutionally, it's not. There is a federal statute for it. It's in 922, 923, whatever it is.
922G?
Maybe.
Could be wrong. Don't quote me, but yeah, I was thinking that's it.
Yeah, it's in one of them, and yeah, it is in the criminal code. But they shot that down and said no, it's not constitutional.
You know, before that actually was a thing I looked up. You know where I actually heard that from? Where serial numbers were defaced. It's actually a federal 10-year crime.
Huh?
There's a series I used to watch, Blacklist. It's on Netflix. But so this character named Raymond Remington, he's a federal national criminal that the FBI has actually worked with to go after other criminals. Well, in New York, he actually gets caught in possession by a cop on a Browning high power pistol of his, and the firearm is defaced, and the judge is like, "Mr. Reddington, you do realize that it's a 10-year federal felony just to own and possess a defaced serial arm, right?" And he's like, "Oh shit, great, I'm fucked."
Dude, I've seen guns that were so old and had been treated so bad, you couldn't read the serial number on that shotgun.
Here's the thing. Here's a question. Now, an FFL, or is there a certain FFL that has to be required to actually restructure the serial number back?
Dude, as far as I know, there's sometimes you can do restoration on one. There's a couple different acids you can get that'll do what you call raise the serial number.
Right. But I'm saying, like, can they actually like, say you had a firearm, like, that's an old surplus handgun that was like from the, say, the 20s or 30s, and the number was just somehow removed. Does the FFL have to redo it over again then?
No, it's illegal. Once it's removed, it's illegal.
Even if it wasn't intentional?
Not to the feds, it ain't. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah, to the feds, it doesn't matter. From what I understand, don't quote me on it, just from my normal research.
Yeah.
Like if someone brought in a firearm, doesn't matter whether it was old and it just been beat up, if I can't read the
Correct.
serial number on that gun, I can't take it in. That's an automatic nope.
It has to be
Now,
100% legible, is what you're saying.
Now, if it was made before 68, that's different. If I can prove that it was made before 1968, then I can. Because the law has an exception that anything before 1968 didn't have to have a serial number. But if I can't prove that that gun was made before 68 and its serial number is damaged,
that's a gray area then.
Yeah, you can't.
But
yeah, the wife's saying, no, we can't touch them. Doesn't matter if it's rust or what. Yeah, that's what I figured. And the way things.
No, here's the question. What happens if you ever come across a defaced firearm? What do you do? Just contact the local police and they take care of it from there on?
What, for like a FFL?
No. I'm saying if you just see it on the curbside and you heard gunshots last night, something was going on, and you found out there's a handgun laying on the concrete, what do you do?
In that situation, yeah, I might call the cops and be like, hey, there's a gun laying over here. But, as an FFL, when I get my FFL up and running, we'll see how things go with the election. But as a gunsmith, I just tell my customer, no, I can't touch that. Take that thing to the house. My wife snitches, get stitches. Yeah. I just tell them, no, I can't touch it. That's your baby. That ain't mine. I can't do anything with it. Now, if you can prove this before 1968, it doesn't have to have a serial number. And some of the time you can track those down by parts numbers on a gun by manufacturer. And you can see when that firearm was manufactured. Then if it doesn't have a true serial number, then you can still take it in because it's pre-68. So it's
for new firearms though, like say if I was a manufacturer, if I produced CZs right here in the United States.
Yeah.
So if I'm an FFL of a certain number or class, I have the authority to actually put a serial number by the federal government.
You do, but you'd have to be a manufacturer.
Manufacturer only.
Yeah, so you got to be a manufacturer to do that.
Okay.
And typically it'll be roll stamps or stuff like that where
Press.
Yeah, you'll have someone coming in, or someone may manufacture the firearm and then send them to you, and you serialize them, and then you kick them back. There are some companies do that. Some companies are going to serialize their own stuff. But yeah, you have to hold a manufacturer's license to be able to actually serialize firearms, because everything you serialize, those records have to be sent off to the government, and
also in the logbook for the company as well.
Yeah, well, you got A&D books, so you got to log them in and then log them out. For someone, the way it should work for someone serializing firearms, they should have to list how many receivers they take in and then list the serial numbers that they sent out. So, like, I think a good case would be Brandon Herrera, so the AK guy. When he was doing his manufacturing of AKs, he sent them to another company to have the other company actually serialize them. And that's an agreement with them where they take these things in, they serialize them, and then they send them back to him.
Mm-hmm.
So that company basically logs in. We took in so many guns, this caliber, this make, whatever, and we sent out this many serialized. These are the serial numbers for each one. Mm-hmm. That's a way some manufacturers do it, as I understand it. But yeah, and for say gunsmiths taking anything in, pawn shops, anything with an FFL, when you take a gun in, you have to list it by make, model, caliber, serial number. If it doesn't have a serial number, then you have to list all the other pertinent information. And I don't know, the wife would have to tell me whether you have to list like data manufacturer, which you probably do, but you've got to do some research. If something comes in that's not serialized, and it was a manufactured firearm from a manufacturer, you definitely have to see whether it was pre-68 or not.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, HPS? And I ain't got that yet. Give me a bottle and it could happen, though. Yeah,
I cannot imagine what the auto manufacturers industry could be like, especially with this type of shit going on in the gun world.
I don't know. It's
I bet you there's a lot of laws with a lot of companies and shit they're dealing with as well as we are.
Oh yeah, there is, man. There's no doubt. We like that hearing we listened to earlier today, man. We are so over fucking regulated that it's not even funny. They're talking about, well, how do we cut these over regulations? Simple. Take anything that doesn't have a clear victim and get rid of it. Let's get things back down to a crime being me wrongfully depriving someone else of life, liberty, or property, and let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
You want to get rid of this code that there's so many laws, no one can even tell you exactly how many there are. Break it back down. Did you wrongfully deprive someone else of life, liberty, or property? No. Well, then okay. Figure it out. That's why we got civil courts. If someone thinks that you wronged them, that's a civil suit.
It's a funny thing you mentioned that. Did you see Guns and Gadgets' new video?
Which one?
Apparently, I forget where this is, but some guy that had self-defense shot and killed this poor kid in the head, for breaking in. And the mother, father, and the attorney are trying to sue the homeowner association as well as the guy that killed their kid.
I haven't.
He didn't kill him, but he injured him pretty bad, and he's in the hospital.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one, but I got no doubt about it. AR Patriot, what's up, brother?
Hey, AR, the homeowner association.
Hey, everybody's involved. AR, there's a link up at the top, brother. If you wanted to jump in, just shoot the breeze for a little bit, jump in. Which it's open to anybody.
I just don't get the fucking logic anymore, dude. Logic went out the fucking book a long time ago.
There's been a couple of people that I've listened to that basically talked about like a home invasion situation and say you draw your gun, you engage them. Basically said you better kill them because if they survive, they can sue you. And families have sued over stuff like that. They didn't have to kill him. He was just breaking in at 2 o'clock in the morning, ramped up on crack. He should have called the police.
Here's a question. What the fuck is he doing at my house?
Yeah. Fahrenheit 451 rules, regulations, and laws. Dude, I have to look at it, man. Well, yeah, it's just I saw that, man. I was trying to deal with quite a few things at work when you sent that to me. So I put it on my phone. I think I was grabbing the forklift and trying to move some stuff around.
Yeah.
Before I even went down to the other part of the shop. I put that on. I'm listening to it, and I'm rabid on that.
Oh no, dude! I wasn't trying to piss you off. I'm like, oh shit! I gotta tell Coop this. I'm not trying to piss him off, but I gotta show him.
No, trust me, you ain't pissing me off. That asshole's pissing me off. I'm glad you sent it to me.
Yeah, because I never caught wind or nobody's telling about it. I just came across that video.
Yeah, I hadn't heard nothing about it yet, and then I looked it up, and there were a couple stories. I think it mainly came out as kind of a local story in Montgomery. And I don't pay attention to a whole lot of local news and shit anymore.
Yeah, and that's like I said. I first came across that cannibal incident in California. Then it was that other one where they went after the pedophile ring, and then that popped up in Alabama.
Woman, ain't you driving?
Yeah, so.
Coop's wife's over here.
Yep. No, I picked up a couple pizzas for dinner. That way we wouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah, if you told your wife?
Oh, she's been listening to the stream. She's heard.
Yeah.
Heard what?
That this douchebag in Alabama wants to basically repeal constitutional carry.
Oh, yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sheriff's trying to push it, though. They want money.
Yeah, and Montgomery, guess who where the sheriff works that really wants to take constitutional carry back?
Russell County?
No, Montgomery. I wouldn't doubt it whether ours would do it too, but
Heath Taylor, absolutely.
I was gonna say they lost so much money over the permits and stuff that they're just dying for more money right now. And that's what it comes down to.
How bad is Montgomery anyways?
Montgomery can get pretty fucking rough, dude.
Is it pretty bad like Chicago? I mean, it's getting bad over there.
I'll put it this way. So when my wife was working with the local 52 out of Montgomery, she was an apprentice, and The first time we went and stayed over there, I just looked up a hotel. We went and stayed. I won't even guess how many pounds of weed were in that hotel, because there were people all standing out on the balconies smoking weed.
Are you talking like bricks like everywhere or some shit?
Oh man, that whole hotel was smoked up.
I mean, I don't smoke, but I know what weed smells like. I smelled it in my high school when kids were fucking spraying that shit into the fucking place. Especially in high school, man.
Oh, it was yeah, we was in the ghetto, baby. But yeah, it was one of those where the next time we went and stayed up there, I found something else a little bit away from that one.
Yeah, and then somebody busted your window and decided not to take all the, like the welding equipment in there because God forbid they do work.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they thought that they were going to bust a window out, and then they looked in there and saw tools and were like, "Oh, fuck that! I might have to work if I pick those tools up." Hell, just the welding hood alone was $150. Yeah, absolutely just busted out my side window. So yeah, that was a expensive trip to Montgomery.
Wasn't our only expensive trip to Montgomery?
No, but we've had more fun trips to Montgomery. Oh man, so yeah, we got a Republican in Alabama who suddenly decided that he doesn't want constitutional carry anymore.
Rhino.
I'm telling you, of all things, he lists a hunter safety class as being good enough to conceal carry.
He's trying to create into a privilege again.
Yeah. Oh, please, Mr. Government, let me carry my gun.
What does hunting have to do with carrying a sidearm?
Not a damn thing.
Exactly my point.
But it comes down to, of course, the budget, but also they're kind of pissed off that they can't just see someone with a gun and then go get their ID and question them and run serial numbers.
I'll take government overreach for 200, Alex.
Yeah. That's I don't know. You can't put anything past these assholes, man. It doesn't matter what party they're with. It doesn't matter what's going on. You can't put anything past them at all. And especially when it comes down to money. If someone's losing money, oh God.
It's called monopoly for a reason. So geopolitics and national-wide monopoly.
Sam, yeah. You what?
So I'm gonna snake kiddos. I might pop back on here.
Well, pop back on.
Because I'm having a little bit too much fun being smartass.
No, not you.
Hey, that customer started it, okay?
This chick calls me. It was right after 12. And she is just all fire and fucking spice. Because this customer comes in and he's got a busted screw and he asks how much it would take to extract the screw. She gave him a price.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, well, I can get the tools for this much, like $7. And she was like, well, fucking go get them.
Are you sure that's how much he would charge to do that? He's not going to charge you anything. I'm the gunsmith. I'm charging you $75 for that shit.
For the time and money, that's what you're charging.
Dude,
yeah.
A simple screw extraction can go very easy, or it can be a fucking nightmare.
Definitely, if you got to use a file and try to carefully weave it out of there.
Yeah, people think, oh, it's just a stuck screw. No, it's not just a stuck screw, buddy.
If it's stuck inside the threads, you got to carefully get that out somehow.
Yeah, without destroying the receiver.
An aluminum receiver.
Ooh, yikes!
Oh, that's even more fun.
That's soft metal.
Well, I'm gonna go get the tool. Okay, bye. Have fun. It's got more if you fuck it with it first. But whatever.
Well, then you gotta probably TIG weld the aluminum if it's aluminum.
I ain't fucking. Anywho, I'm gonna grab kiddos. I'll be back.
All right, well, grab kiddos. Be careful.
Yep.
You leave your gun at work again? Oh, she got off.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's freaking. She tells me so, which I've dealt with customers in many different fields before, and it's like, yeah, there's certain things. Well, why does this cost this much? Because it can be either very easy or it can be an aggravating like 3-day ordeal. Well, I can get the tools to do it for this much. Well, fucking jump on it there, big boy. Why'd you bring it to me in the first place? And then they'll bring shit back in that's just completely trash because they tried working on it. It's like, well, your price just went up 300%.
Because you didn't want to pay the price that was required, even though you were bitching and complaining about a small price. Yeah, you just fucked up, made it worse.
Yeah, you made it 10 times worse. Now I got to do 10 times more work. Your price just went up. Or you told me it was this much before. Yeah, that was before you fucked it up the rest of the way, and now I got to go unfuck it. Should have bit the bullet the first time. Chessboard said, I'd have told him, drill, baby, drill. Yeah. It's basically what you told him. And he made the mistake of saying to my wife, well, because the dude that runs a business, they make the mistake thinking my wife is just like the secretary a lot of times. Well, what would he charge me? She told him, she said, he ain't charging you shit. I'm charging you. I'm the gunsmith. I'm the one that's going to have to do the work. Yeah, dude, I've been playing with getting my FFL for, I don't know, since 21. But watching all the stuff with Biden and all the crazy shit that the ATF is doing, I have been dragging my fucking feet. Because I don't know just how bad they're going to get. So, depending on either way, after this next election, I'm going to have to bite the bullet. I'm going to have to do it. But at least that'll give me an idea just how bad I'm getting screwed, or how bad I'm going to get screwed by these guys. Especially starting out when you're just learning the ropes on a lot of this stuff. It's very easy to make a small mistake. They're taking businesses that have been in going for like 30 years and destroying them because they made a simple paperwork mistake.
Like one digit off or some mistake.
Like one digit off on a serial number, or instead it even comes down to, instead of writing out the name of a county or the name of a state, they abbreviated something, which is a very simple abbreviation that's done even in legal documents a lot of times. Oh no, can't do that. Got to put their ass out of business. It's getting freaking crazy. Yeah, give me a sec, Warsaw. Tap dance or something. Eyes is back.
Yep. Hey, Coop, here's a question for you. Now, if you're trying to actually remove a stripped screw, pretty much it's a bit still stuck inside a piece of metal. I'm not talking receiver, just anything like everyday uses.
Yeah.
I've seen where you can heat them up and then you use a nail and carefully puncture a little, picking a hole in there, and then use like a carefulized handle and then just carefully get it out.
Yeah, you can do it a couple ways. You can try to pick it out like that, or you can use like what we call ease out. Mm-hmm. So basically, you take where the hole's at, get everything centered up, basically drill the top of the busted fastener, then remove the drill bit, and then put in an ease out, which has kind of almost like a reverse thread on it. Mm-hmm. So you can grip the what's left of the screw and then turn it out. But either way, like I said, it can
get ugly
easy, or it can go horrible. Especially depending on why the screw was actually broken in the first place. So like someone cross threads it and then puts too much torque on it trying to run it down and then snaps the screw head off. Or what does the surface of it look like when it was stripped? You could have to go in with depending on the size screw, going with an end mill and just line everything up and keep bumping that end mill down to kind of flatten that screw out where it's broke, and then drill it and then run an ease out. There's a few different things you can do, but again, that's where you get to that. This could go really easy, or this could be an absolute nightmare.
Yeah. How about a tap? That's another issue too. Tap's even worse.
Oh man, taps breaking is horrible. I hate breaking taps because that's hardened steel. So
Dremel cut off the head, and you got to figure out a way around it.
I mean, I've worked on some stuff where breaking a tap just destroyed the fucking project. So it was just fucking start from scratch. In some cases, you can get them to back out depending on how they were trapped or why they actually broke, or say you under drilled the hole and went and run the tap down in it and just jammed it up real bad and broke the tap. Sometimes
a lot of times it's because it's over tightening and you just got to work the machine. You don't overdo it.
Yeah, you can't just run in with a tap, especially depending on how the hole was drilled, the size of the hole before you go to cut the threads. If that's a little too tight, you break a tap off in it, it is going to be an absolute bitch getting it out. And small fasteners in a lot of cases are a lot harder than large fasteners. So if you've got a very small screw busted off on something, they can be 10 times more horrible than a large fastener. And in some cases, I'd have to look. In some cases, you might be able to take, if you had a harder drill bit and drill it out, then oversize it, you might be able to get away with something like that. But still, it's no fun breaking fasteners off. I've busted quite a few, and it's always, I think there's one or two that I busted or had one bust on something that's more automotive and working on motor or something like that I was able to get in there and run an ease out in it and pop it out pretty easy. There were one or two where I've been able to do that, but not many, because could be that the threads are damaged and it jams up. That's why it busts. You could over torque it. That's why it busts. Could be corrosion. That's why it busts. You name it. And it's $75 to get a stuck screw out of a receiver is not a bad goddamn price. For someone to do it right and not just damage the receiver. Yeah, cross threading, and kind of like Loctite, I guess. It definitely ain't going nowhere easy. And then you work on old stuff sometimes. I've seen it where, of course, threads strip. You just basically pull the threads out of something. Then you got to go in and either retap it or heel coil it or something to get threads back into it. But I would rather deal with that than having the fastener bust off in something new.
Now, here's a question. Have you ever encountered a cracked receiver on a firearm?
One, actually.
You did?
Well, not a receiver. This was a frame for a 1911, a stainless steel frame.
Stainless steel?
But
shit.
The entire story behind this is, and a buddy of mine who's an FFL Green, he's been on here with me before, brought it down to the shop with me to see whether we could actually do something with it. But I don't know the whole story, but some dude who wasn't supposed to have guns was pissed at his old lady who had guns, and he basically just like took a hammer, mag out of the gun, and just bashed the backside of that gun. So the frame just cranked in, and when it did, up where your hammer would actually pin in, just cracked it.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I got a little bit of the story, and I was like, that's enough for me. We'll see what we can do. But the thing about that,
I mean, what you have to like, what if you're going to attempt to repair it, to use like what a TIG welder, I guess, with aluminum or stainless steel?
I didn't even get to the crack. I mean, we tried heating. I took a square bar, a rectangle bar, and oversized it a little over what the magazine would be.
Right.
Just tried putting a little heat on that stainless and then driving that in there to actually expand the frame back out. And we got that about right. And he was going to do some more fitting on it and see whether he could actually get the mag running through it right. And then we'd address the crack after that. But we hadn't got to that yet. But the thing about stainless is a great metal.
Yeah.
But if you overheat stainless, you destroy the properties of it. You destroy it. And for those of you who don't know, stainless does have some iron in it, but it's surrounded by chromium.
Yep.
And when you overheat it, the chromium molecules basically slide away from the iron and they leave it exposed.
That's why you got to have a good amount in between the heat input, so otherwise you're not overcooking the metal.
Yeah. You definitely, and I know that just from being a welder, because there are certain times where you can weld stainless, and if you weld it too hot, even a 316 or something stainless that would never normally rust
for a while.
Yeah. A stainless that'll never normally rust. You can weld it. If you weld it too hot, come back to it the next morning and you'll see rust all over it.
Yep.
You absolutely destroy it.
Yep. Yeah.
And the funny thing about welders is, especially taking a weld test, they know if it's just going to be x-rayed, they know good and well they can pour the coals to it and weld that shit hot as fuck, and they can get that weld to lay in there perfect. and it'll x-ray, no impurities, no discontinuities, no defects, no nothing, and it'll lay right in there.
Yep.
But if you set that piece of material out in the atmosphere for a little bit, it rusts like a son of a bitch.
Yep. What's the other metal? Not stainless. I haven't done it. Chromoly. Chromoly, you also got to be careful with.
Yeah, I've never welded chromoly, but it's real heat sensitive too.
Yep, and they use it on vehicle frames and cages, so you got to really be careful. Otherwise, if you overheat that, it's brittle as hell and it'll just break apart.
And yeah, Mike, you're right about that. And when it comes to stainless threads, stainless can be real funky because, and it's different torque values and stuff like that. But if you don't lube threads on something stainless when you're threading parts in, or if those threads are real tight and you don't put something in there to kind of ease some friction, yeah, they'll gall up and bust up in a hurry. And each metal kind of has its own freaking kind of eccentricities, I guess you could say, as to what it'll do and what it won't do. That's why we have so many different materials out there in the first fucking place. But there's big differences in between a lot of aluminums, 4140, 5051, 6061. There's a lot of variables in that. And I'd have to dig back into a lot of my stuff about metallurgy to really dive any deeper into it. But it's metals are crazy, man. You get into something like a mild steel, though, that a lot of things are constructed out of. It's regular A36 mild steel. That shit'll take a beating. You can weld it cold, weld it hot. Typically, you're not going to mess with the properties. It is a very easy material to deal with. When you get into other materials, oh fuck, man, you can get in a damn rabbit hole.
Yep. How about meteorite? You ever welded meteorite, or if
No.
it's possible? I've seen people make rings out of meteorite. I was always curious if you could actually do that.
Dude, that I know of, there are two 1911s made out of meteorite.
No kidding.
Hold on. I have to look at it. Let me pack this and I'll look it up real fast. I believe they're considered priceless. But yeah, they were actually made out of a meteorite.
No shit.
I wouldn't shit you. You're my favorite turd.
1911 frames out of fucking meteorite metal. Oh my goodness, man. And I thought what's the other metal?
I believe it's frames and slides.
I was thinking Damascus. Damascus is another steel. It's really expensive, but definitely a big recommendation. People always want out there. Israeli Damascus steel.
Cabot guns. That's who it was. Hold on. Let me share this real fast. But yeah, they are made out of an actual meteorite.
No kidding.
Yes, I'm over 20 to the ones. Let me see.
Wow. Dude, that looks cool. Cooper mute. Dude, that is sick, man. Wow. This material on this thing looking beautiful. I still can't hear you.
What?
Now I can hear you. It's your Bluetooth or what's up?
On with this damn connection.
Dude, that's sick.
Can you hear me now?
Meteorite 911s. That is still cool, though, man.
Oh, it's freaking crazy.
It looks like a 911 from the movie Transformers, like from 2009, 2008, 2010, 2011.
Oh, yeah.
No, they haven't made a firearm out of Damascus steel, have they?
It's nuts. I think.
Yep, bad connection. Here we go again. Fucking Wi-Fi.
It's freaking crazy ass goddamn connection.
Anyways, I'm gonna hop off. All right, I appreciate you showing me this, Coop. This is awesome.
Hey, brother Warsaw, thanks for showing up again, man.
Anytime, and see if tomorrow works, and we'll probably do that hangout again.
Yeah, we'll try it. We'll try it tomorrow night. If it doesn't work, then we'll try it Friday night or something like that. We'll work it where
Anytime we're flexible, man.
So, yeah, we'll get it worked out.
While we're waiting, they also want to resolve this internet issue.
Oh man, I am going to try to
call up the company, give them hell if you have to, or just yell at them if you have to.
Dude, Yeah, I'm fixing to start bitching because, and I know part of it is they're putting in some new subdivisions and stuff down the road, so they've got cable lines tied up and all that. Okay, that's fine.
There's
a way to do that without fucking my connection.
Exactly.
Because it's ridiculous. Because hell, a couple months ago, I could typically stream video, not have an issue, not deal with too many slowdowns. And
I mean, the funny thing out of this, it was first Bishop on air, and now it's coming to you.
Well, Bishop on air, you know, I could see the internet trying to screw him because he's a good dude and he's got a hell of a lot of followers. Leave me alone. But yeah, there for a little while, man. Bishop every day at like 9 o'clock in the morning, his connection dropped off to nothing. Nothing.
Constantly.
It was over a month, wasn't it?
2 months.
Yeah.
It's been going on.
And for you guys that don't follow Bishop on air, look up Bishop on air. He's in Illinois. He does a lot of stuff with the Illinois legislature, holds a show. Most of you guys have heard me talk about him before. Does a show typically about anywhere from 8:45 to 9 in the morning. Sometimes he'll go earlier. Sometimes he might be a little later, depending on, you know, him reporting on the legislature, because that's part of what he does. And covers a lot of stuff coming out of the Seventh Circuit. Freedom Steel is on there a lot, and a bunch of other really good guys. And it's just there for like 2 months, man. You could start watching his show. If he started at 8:45, it was good. But when it hit 9 o'clock, his connection nosedived.
Yep.
And it was nothing but freezing. And a couple times you could, Greg's a lot nicer than me, man, because you could tell I'm getting frustrated. I'd have been throwing shit. And Greg was like, yeah, we'll have to deal with this tomorrow. But yeah, Greg is another good dude. Oh, look, my stalker's back. Hey, stalker.
Yeah, stalker. You bought this one.
Yeah, I paid for it many times.
Yeah, well, you asked for it.
And ever since then, you've been two lovebirds and a pie.
I pretty much begged for it.
I don't recall any begging. Squirrel, would you get out of the way?
Anyway, I take it you got kiddos because I hear them in the background.
Yes.
All right.
So yeah, this rape monster's definitely got me curious, especially you have two soldiers itself as a Marine as well. You know, their testimonies are going to be interesting if we actually hear this thing. Yeah,
dude, we got to get into it. And we'll, like I said, if we don't get into it tomorrow night, then we'll schedule another night, maybe Friday, something. I don't care who else is on, and we'll just run a stream and shoot shit about it. And see.
Yep.
Because definitely got me interested in this.
I mean, hell, in Alabama, you don't see a lot of paranormal stuff. I mean, up here, every once in a while, I'll see something out of the sky, but nothing like on the ground level, do you?
Hey, look, man, there's enough people on meth in Alabama. They see all kinds of shit. They get kidnapped by aliens. They get probed in the butt and all that.
Oh, and yes, your question from before, I did leave my gun at work.
You suck.
It's in my desk.
Locked up?
No.
Why is it in your desk?
Because that's where it goes.
Why is it not on your hip?
Because I don't have my belt.
Oh, here we go.
I don't know if you know this, but that 1911's a little heavy when I ain't got my belt.
That's why you wear a belt. That's why I got you a concealed carry belt.
What did I do yesterday? I went to the gym. I ain't got my belt.
Woman, telling you.
Now I kind of understand what you got to put up with, Coop.
Oh, dude, she puts up with worse, but I still got to break her balls too.
Put up with worse.
Hey, look, I admit I'm worse most of the time, Heifer.
You did admit it. I just get a rating.
Hey, two opposites that make a positive at this point.
Yeah, well, they say iron sharpens iron. So between her thick ass skull and my thick ass skull, we ought to be doing pretty good. Because in case y'all ain't noticed, that thing ain't blonde, that thing ain't brunette.
What is? Me and my mom came up with it. Smarter than blondes, but more fun than brunettes, I think.
I could say, yeah, I could say that.
Yeah, my first crush was a redhead back then. That didn't work out.
I don't know whether I don't think my first crush was a redhead, but I definitely had a redhead thing.
Nah, I'm more into blondes now.
I damn near wrecked my truck at a mall one time because of a redhead. Can't say I was driving past and she got about that thing called a steering wheel.
Yeah, well,
I may or not been rubbing the curb.
I have a thing for dark hair and funny.
Well, now you got old, gray-haired, and fat. So, but my sense of humor does come out. I'll say that.
Funny with a tinge of asshole.
I got more than a tinge. I got way more than a tinge. Depending on the day. I'll say that. Depending on the day.
Depending on the day, yeah, but I have to have just a tinge of a-hole. I am too spicy for one of these guys that's just like super duper sweet and real kind.
No,
no.
You could not have a soy boy because you'd have that joker tied into a goddamn pretzel and done murdered him already.
I couldn't handle it. It'd be too boring.
You got to have something that can come right back at you. That's your problem.
You've met my mother.
Yeah, and I love your mother to death.
Coop, I had a crazy idea. I just thought of this. All right, you're in Alabama, right? Alligators and everything?
Yep.
Okay, is there scales in the back of the alligator? Like, the sharp triangle things, where all those are?
Well, they're more scoots, not necessarily scales.
All right, scoots. Could you actually make a scoot 1911 grip for a 1911 pistol? For covers?
If you found like a seriously baby gator, maybe. But you have to realize the scoots on an
adult gator
are huge.
Yeah.
That would be one of the most uncomfortable grips you've ever held in your damn life.
Yeah, but
the idea, I just thought of it like, hey, that'd be cool if we could actually do that for grips.
AR, yeah, I've done that. I wasn't driving the Corvette when I did it.
I mean, I've seen antler grips for 1911s, but never seen a gator scoots grip.
You'd have to have like baby gator, so they wouldn't be absolutely uncomfortable to hold on to. It's when you're talking about, especially like getting into even a 4-foot gator, you wouldn't want to hold on to those grips.
Yeah, no,
I mean, they're pretty painful to touch.
Not painful to touch, but you wouldn't want to sit there and have to grip them to actually hold a gun. It'd be like she said, it'd be like getting a thumb stabbed in a couple places in your palm the whole time you're gripping the gun. It would not be comfortable. You'd have to find like some little itty bitty that was just born and then flesh them out and then stick the skin on there. That'd give you some grip without being absolutely painful, but no, full size or even a young gator would be no. That's no one would want to shoot that.
Alligator skin? Just regular skin?
Alligator skin would be slick.
belly.
Yeah, belly skin would be slick. Only problem to that is you run into kind of the opposite end of the scale. You wouldn't have a whole lot of grip.
Right.
Because if you did their belly up right, it would look good on a grip, but it's so smooth and soft, you wouldn't have a whole lot of traction on it.
Is that the same thing with their claw hands?
Their claws are good for back scratchers.
Yeah, that'll work.
Trying to figure out how that would work. I'm thinking.
Huh?
But I was trying to figure out how a way to make that work,
What, the belly scale?
or any kind of alligator scales.
I mean, shit. What's the other animal I was looking to? Armadillo. That might work. Armadillo skin.
I don't know, because their skin's kind of a real heavy cartilage. Unless you did like their belly. Their belly's soft, but the outside, the top of them are they call them possums on a half shell for a reason.
Yeah, but there's a scary thing about armadillo. They're one animal that carries leprosy. That's the only animal you got to be careful about.
Dude, if it was a huge transmission rate in between armadillos with leprosy and people, I'd have it already. I've literally, even at the shop I'm at now with my students, I've walked out back. It's been a couple years ago. There's an armadillo playing out back. So I grabbed this armadillo, and the key about grabbing an armadillo, kids, just so you know, is you flip them upside down, and then you can hold them like a baby. And I walked that armadillo all through the shop, let everybody pet it and touch it, and then let him go.
Gar scales.
Oh, that would work.
That would work.
Gar scales,
alligator gar.
Gar, either long nose or alligator.
The closest we got up here is muskie and pike.
Yeah, they don't have the scale that a gar does.
Yeah, I know.
They've got a real fleshy scale. Gar scales, whether it's a long nose or an alligator, is like armor. It's freaking tough.
Yeah, I mean, Indians used to use it for armor and then arrowheads. So.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like what was that other fish I was looking at? Sawfish. The sawfish was used as a weapon. The nose of the sawfish.
Yeah.
What else we got? Oh, Burnaby slipped in. What's up, Burnaby? And ADX slipped in. What's up, AD? So, yeah. If you guys missed the first part of the stream, it was about dumbasses in Alabama wanting to do away with constitutional carry, and now we're tired of that, and we've moved into every other subject we can find. Pretty sure we have passed the point of no return.
Talking about alligators and other animals now.
Yeah. What?
I said any kind of alligator or critter skin that would make good grips for 1911.
Oh yeah. I mean, I could see some damn, if you got the right size snake, some 1911 grips made out of a timber rattler would be nice. Those would look good.
That would work. Yeah, definitely 100%.
Especially depending on what color you did the slide and frame in, whether you blued it or whether you freaking parkerized it. I'd do it. Either one of those would look good. Oh, kiss my ass. You know you ain't doing a gun hot pink like that. Not of your own free will.
No, I ain't doing that unless I get paid for it.
Yeah, for a customer, you do it.
Begrudgingly.
Hey, baby, because you probably can't see the chat. Why do women comb their hair at red lights?
I took the back away.
So answer the. Now she's either my stream's dropping or her connection's dropping because she's on the road.
Most likely because she's driving.
Why do women comb their hair at red lights?
I'm on Brickyard. Why do women what?
Why do women? She's in a bad place for a connection. Now she's stuck. Now she looks like she's just saying.
I'm on break. Yard. Give me a minute.
Oh,
Say it again.
Why do women comb their hair
Whatever.
at red lights?
I don't know.
Because they don't have balls to scratch.
I guess.
Jess gave me a new joke. I'm going to use that one again later.
You didn't like my joke earlier.
Which one?
The one from the other day.
Okay, there's been plenty of other days. Which one are we talking about? We're talking about the abortion one?
Yeah.
No, I'm not a big fan of abortion jokes.
I know, but it was still funny.
No, it wasn't that funny.
You didn't find it funny. Pat found it funny.
Pat's a fucking moron.
Yeah, don't say that. That's not funny.
You just hit the railroad tracks?
I did.
Okay.
It's almost like you've been on this road a time or two.
Once or twice.
Okay, I don't even know why I'm thinking this. Who would want deer for grips on a 1911?
No.
Suede palms, dude. That's not really something to be gripping.
No, it's no, that wouldn't be real. I mean, you could make a gun look cool with it, but would it be functional? No.
No.
It's kind of I don't know. If you did it with the hide on, you'd just have hairy palms.
I mean, you might as well do it with a bowhide. That would work.
Yeah, you could do it. You could make some pretty good grips out of some really thick material where you could actually go in and burn a pattern into it. But no, not with any real soft material. Not unless you coat it in something to actually harden it up.
Yeah, like resin.
Yeah. Yeah, if you did something with a resin to make them hard enough where they weren't slick when you shot it after like the third time, yeah, they'd probably be all right.
Oh, I don't know. I thought of an idea. That would work. All right, you're a welder, right?
Well, both of us are, so yeah.
What if you made grips out of TIG welding, alignments?
Talking about just like building up material with it?
Like, pebbles. Just make the grip out of pebbles.
Look at this shit.
Layer stacks of coins, in a rows.
You're
What am I
gonna
looking
get
at?
this dumbass riding on the left side of the road. You're gonna get hit.
Oh, you fucking moron.
Yeah, that ain't the road to be riding the left side of the road on.
Take a picture of his plate or screenshot that. He's a fucking moron.
You're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, on that road, he damn sure is.
He's on the left side. He's gonna get hit.
Because there's a lot of blind corners on that road.
Yeah, get his plate. Get his fucking plate.
Shit, back off. Let his ass get run over and pass him laughing later.
Fucking A. God damn, that happened. God forbid he gets hit and your wife's going to have a witness.
Well, she passed a car one night on fire coming up that road.
Is he still in the left corner or no?
That was fun. What?
Is he still in the left side corner?
No, he turned off finally.
All right, thank God, man. Jesus.
Yeah, that is not, that's a 2-lane road that kind of winds coming up a lot of hills. That's not the place to be riding on the wrong side of the road unless you feel like eating a tractor trailer to the face, because it's kind of a big industrial area.
People generally cut through that road to speed and not get caught. Basically is how I put that.
Yeah, until they get ass over tea kettle when you get hit.
Oh yeah, dude, that's not the place to fucking speed. Because it cuts down a couple other areas. It's not like a big built up industrial area, but you're running through a lot of rural area, and there are branches that head off to recycling plants, a couple of landfills. There's constantly big trucks coming up and down that road. There's a JB Hunt lot that sits out there. Yeah, that's not the place you want to ride on the wrong side of the road flying up the hill.
Well, and
with bricks.
there was actually an incident, Coop, years back. Some guy was speeding on the right side instead of the left. You know how some of the roads curve so tight, it actually gets close to the curbside?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, he actually got so close there, he didn't realize this in the last minute. He was next to this guy's house, and he actually hit the fucking right side of the mailbox and killed him. Went through windshield and killed him.
Yeah, I can see that happening. There are a couple of roads. There's one up not too far up where my boss lives. It's not an actual 90-degree turn, but it's damn close. Just the way the road bends and hooks back. And straight ahead, there's a tree that's taken, I don't know how many cars. From people flying down there and not realizing it was going to kick off, I think to the right that hard, and then right into that fucking tree.
Yep. But yeah, you get divots around the curbside and shit, and you're going fast on that curb. You don't know what's around the corner. You're gonna get hit by a mailbox or some shit, man.
Oh, dude. Brickyard, which, yeah, that's technically Brickyard Road, which cuts from 165 over to Dillingham in Alabama, which, well, I don't think it's Dillingham coming out of Alabama. It may switch to it in Columbus. Is it actually Dillingham on both sides of the bridge?
Yeah.
Okay, so it cuts from 169 all the way to Dillingham. And it's like I said, you got a bunch of real rural stuff out there. You got a couple brick plants. You've got it cuts off the State Docks Road that used to go down to where the old grain feeds are. You've got a lot of big trucks that travel that road, whether they're delivering to the industrial park, which is kind of cuts off of that, or delivering to the bricks, or there's a place that does all sorts of dump trucks on that road. Yeah, that's not the place to be flying around in the left lane oncoming traffic.
Nope.
That could lead to you eating.
That was the same way on it was at night. And these two dumbass fucking teenagers were on bikes in the middle of the fucking road. I almost hit one.
Yeah, that's also not another good situation.
In the middle of the night. Like, coming up hills, blind turns, and there's two fucking teenage kids on bikes in the middle of the road.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a which there's a couple of dangerous areas right off of that road for various reasons. But that road itself, even just with all the wildlife that's out there, pigs, deer, you name it, all over that road. Yeah, and God knows how many times I've floored the brakes for a snake on that road. Yeah, that's not the place to be running in the wrong lane going against traffic.
You got deer in Alabama?
Anyway.
Oh, dude, man. One of the places she passed a little bit ago, headed up this road, me and her passed it one night, and there was, 10 bucks standing out there? Anywhere from a little 4-point buck all the way to, like, way out there 10-point plus buck. One of the biggest deer I've seen in Alabama almost hit on that road one night coming home.
Yep.
And hell, we had a damn fucking pig run right down the road in front of the truck for like 100 yards one day. I think she got some video of it on her phone. Yeah, because you got, depending on which section that road in, like I said, you're kind of in a mix of some industrial stuff, but there's a lot of farmland and a lot of hunting land back in there. And that road just winds coming up. It's and there's a lot of historic stuff off that road. I got to do or stop and look at some of the markers. We got historic markers off on the side of the road that list different events that happen in areas. There's a lot of historic markers off the side of that road. It's not in a real built up area, but there's a lot of industrial traffic in that area.
18-wheelers carrying loads of bricks. Don't stop quickly.
It's be glad you're not up near the Yellowstone. Bisons would kick your ass off.
Yeah, we ain't got nothing like that up here. Our deer down here, from where you're at, our deer down here probably look like puppy dogs. A big buck down here is probably 150 to 180 pounds. That's a massive buck.
Yeah, you're on point.
Yeah, it's you guys' does up there are bigger than our bucks down here.
We got coy wolves. You ever seen those?
Yeah.
Coy wolf hybrids?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're big. I've seen a black one out here one time.
Yeah, these morons sometimes on their little bicycles, I don't know what they're fucking thinking, but they ain't thinking a whole lot.
Get a lot of DUIs, in the state.
Yeah, I'd probably say Alabama's probably up there with DUIs.
So it's here.
We were one of the last states, I think, to get rid of open container laws. Because hell, back when I was early 20s, if you were riding down the road in Alabama and had an open beer, the cops couldn't say shit about it. Now they could give you a sobriety test and do a whole lot of other shit, but they couldn't say, oh, there's an open beer can. Nope, they couldn't do that shit. Oh shit, Chessboard and Bob are going back and forth telling jokes in the chat. We got to get into that shit. Hold on. Baby, don't run off the road. I'll be back in a minute.
I mean, I'll try.
Must be great to be in Alabama.
Wait, what?
I said it must be great to be in Alabama.
I can't. I love Alabama. It's pretty.
Yeah, the closest I've been is near North Carolina.
I've never been there. I heard it's pretty though.
A lot of forest. I'll tell you this much, there was a lot of pollen. You could see the dust all over everybody's vehicles.
Yeah, we got a lot of pine trees down here, so we get a lot of pine pollen. It's gross.
It's like dust everywhere.
Oh no, I ran off the road.
All right, we're still here.
No,
We were just talking
but no, seriously. Huh?
What? How? Who? Where? Why?
What?
You go first.
Where did he go and all that? She's got the giggle. What are you talking about?
I was being a smart ass. Y'all go ahead. Said I was being a
Say
smart
it
ass. Y'all go
again.
ahead.
Say it ain't so.
No.
Nothing wrong being a smartass.
My wife would never be a smartass. Never. While I hold up a sign that says bullshit.
But no, Coop. No, seriously, I was thinking maybe we should do a stream series where it's called Paranormal and Detox, and every night would have one episode of war stories or bedtime stories.
I don't know. We'd have to see. That might be something we'd have to get together and try to do like pre-recorded.
Yeah, exactly.
Both my runts are out.
No, good one.
Oh, I see the other one.
Yep. No, because there's a lot of military stories actually came across off there.
Yes, and dude, that stuff you've been sending me is freaking cool as hell, and it's interesting.
Yeah. Oh, there goes your wife.
Yep, she's in the yard.
Ah. All right, you want to end it here, man?
Nah, we'll shoot shit for a little bit more. We'll get kids home. I'll throw on some pizza for them, and
yeah.
But yeah, the stuff you've been sending me is good, man. I got to go back and listen to some more of it, and because the stuff, paranormal stuff. I mean, it interests me. It really does.
Well, but it comes like the Army, like the United States Army. They've been covering up shit that's possibly real or not real at all, dude. From my understanding, it's the Army, and then there's the CID. What is CID? Criminal Investigation Department. And they've been covering up and hiding stuff.
No, dude, they hide stuff constantly. And see, there's this weird mix of stuff, and I think it kind of falls into two buckets. So one is technology that's alien that they don't want to talk about. And then two is technology that they're developing that they actually have that's our technology that they don't want to talk about. I mean, look at stealth. So, we were using stealth, I believe. I'd have to go look. But I think we used the original stealth planes. I think we used some of them in it was before the Gulf War.
Yeah.
Now we heard about them in the Gulf War. Grenada, that's where it was at. I think we had some of them flying in Grenada.
Yeah.
And then we didn't hear about those till the first Gulf War. So there, and I understand, keeping some military tech silent and shit like that, but there's that whole other bucket of stuff that I don't think is theirs that I think is alien that they don't want to talk about.
Yeah, but as far as that and what else was I looking at? Not just America, but even England, they got some weird stuff going on. They had a craft crash out there, and they tied it down like Loctite. Damn, I mean, they had it everywhere with the British Army out there saying, "No, you cannot come in this area."
It's the funny thing about it is, if our government would be honest about some shit, then we'd probably be pretty cool with a lot of it. But ooh,
hey,
you eating cookies?
Yeah.
But our government's so dishonest about shit, you don't know which way to turn. And it seems like every time someone accuses someone of, oh, that's a conspiracy theory, and you give it about, I don't know, 4 weeks, 8 months, it turns out our government's doing exactly what that person said they were doing. It's you could go back, even if you didn't want to go back that far, you could look at the start of COVID and look at what a lot of us were saying at the start of COVID, that this shit, it may not have been completely developed in a lab, but it was a virus that they spliced stuff into in a lab, and that they already had a lot of this vaccine shit ready. And you can look at all that, even to the side effects of it.
Regardless,
talking about, dude, there's going to be massive side effects from this. And you go back and look at patents, and there were patents done in like 2011 over some of this shit. And people straight out call you a conspiracy theorist.
Well, regardless, if you're a doctor or not, but here's the thing: you ever follow Tom Clancy?
Yeah.
Back in 2014, or 2013, he actually knew about this actually before COVID became a thing. He made a video game series based on it called The Division.
Yeah, I remember The Division. I played the first one. I didn't play the other one, but I played
exactly the same similar outbreak. But the thing is, it wasn't as bad as it's depicted in the video game.
The only thing that pissed me off about Division is you could only, if I'm remembering the right game, you could only play that online. So if you didn't have an internet connection, you couldn't play Division.
If you didn't have a live account or your PlayStation account.
I don't think you had to have the account, but you had to have an internet connection for it.
You had to have it all Wi-Fi, yeah.
Yeah. And the game itself was pretty good. I had a good time playing it, but I just didn't like the fact that I couldn't play it offline if I wanted to.
Yeah. But no, Tom Clancy, he knew stuff we actually didn't know what was going to happen, and I got to give him props to some of this stuff. I
think Clancy had some plugins to some people trying to let him know, because all the research he did for his books and the people he was connected with, I think he had some connections.
Well, look at this. Look at this other thing, like with the Ukraine. Like, they claim that once Ukraine becomes a NATO member, Russia's going to retaliate, and I fear it's going to be close to what he depicted in the Sum of All Fears movie.
There's a possibility it could go that way. I won't say it won't, and I won't say it will. There is a possibility it could definitely go that way. But there's so many rabbit holes you could jump down in conversations like this, because, again, we've talked about it on streams. We are using critical infrastructure for our power grid that is manufactured in China, and there were people that said before we did it, don't do that, because they have critical failures written into those, hard failures, and they can turn the lights out whenever they want.
And it was just like that movie I was seeing, Dragon Day. You ever seen that? It's on Amazon Prime, but pretty much back in 2013, they made a movie based on that. Every chip, every car, every phone, they were capable of shutting down the whole American country. You're mute. You're mute.
When I unplugged my headphones so you could hear what he was saying, it muted me. But yeah, I got no doubts about that. We are one of the biggest idiot countries in this world. You have no many times that about you.
I don't know about that, Coop. I mean, big idiot countries, I don't know. I don't know if Canada or Australia takes the top of the cake, though.
Dude, I don't, even in Canada and even in Australia, I don't think they do as many business or as much business for critical infrastructure as we do with people that hate us. Especially when you take into account, we could be completely independent from these other countries and not have to deal with them, because we have all the minerals, we have the oil, we have everything right here.
But we don't want to do it.
Yeah, we don't do it. If you look at some other countries, they don't have a choice. They've got to deal with outside countries because they don't have the resources we have. That's one of the reasons I say we're the biggest idiots, because we have all the resources and we still depend on people like China and Iran and all this other shit for oil and minerals and batteries and just we're one of the few big land masses in the world that could be completely, separate from everybody else. We have the technology, we have the minerals, we have the raw materials, you name it. We've got all of it. But we have a bunch of idiot politicians that run this joint, and they're making money off of dealing with these other countries. Yeah, Fire Otter, NAFTA is another one. Fire Otter, I didn't see you come in, brother. What's up? So Canada could do quite a bit of it. No, it's fixing to slap me in the ass if we turned on the window.
I could see Canada being a big partner of the United States as a friend, man, but their government's all cahoot right now with all this bullshit up there dealing with.
Yeah,
I have no disrespect for any Canadian, honestly. If you love freedom as well as you and I, man, I get along with them.
No doubt, man. If you love freedom, if you want to live a life to where you don't hurt anybody unless they try to hurt you, dude, we can get along no matter which country you're from. But we live in a country that is completely overrun with non-playable characters. And all they believe is what the government and the media pushes, and then they go puke that shit up on everybody else. Whether it's with guns, whether it's with the environment and freaking global, what do they call it? A climate change?
Global warming.
Yeah, well, it used to be global warming. Now it's climate change. I grew up right at the tail end of the world's going to freeze again, and then the main part of my life was in it's the global warming. We're all going to roast to death, and then they changed it to climate change because that way they can say whether it gets cold or whether it gets hot. It's all man-made, and it's ridiculous. It's asinine.
Yeah.
Hey, little buddy.
You got my salami?
You're not the good bit to me.
She gave that to me.
The fuck is you?
My wife walked in here with you dirty-minded bastards. It's hard salami, the food. She walked in here with a handful of it. If you guys are like me, your mind went to everywhere else.
Yep.
So you got my salami? Said your mom gave this to me. Yeah, acid rain was another one of them, Fluffy.
Well, no, that's actual fact. I mean, look in New York with the Statue of Liberty. Look at the copper off that thing. It's all green now.
Dude, copper discolors, man. If you take a penny and sit it outside, a pure copper and sit it outside, it discolors.
It turns green like that.
Yeah, it's not. Oh, we're all gonna die of acid rain. And that reminds me, man. Just thinking about that. If you grew up, 80s, especially later 80s, they pushed the acid rain thing. And I can remember that offhand coming up in like 3 shows. One was Alf. If you've never seen Alf, Alf is hysterical. He was an alien that wanted to eat cats. They pushed acid rain in Transformers, the cartoon series. And then they pushed acid rain in, I can fucking see the people in the series. It wasn't Different Strokes. It was another series where it was all about acid rain for a while. And it was freaking, if you're like I was, you're a young kid at the time, you're like, wow, that's pretty damn bad. And then you actually get older and look at shit and you're like, no, we're not all going to die. We're okay.
You talk about that. You ever watch, I don't know if you remember this, but there used to be a show on Discovery Channel called I Shouldn't Be Alive.
I've saw a couple episodes of it.
There's one where these 3 guys, they were in Hawaii. And I'm like, thank God these guys survived. But they were already at the edge of this fucking active volcano, and they all fell in. And there's like some certain like land crevices they actually landed on. But like, if you like, I would say a foot further, they could have actually gone off and died into the lava. And a few of the guys actually. So one at a time, they actually were getting out of the volcano. But the last guy, he was in there for about another day, and he already had to jump out into this cage that the helicopter came down and picked him out. I mean, talk about being a volcano for the night, dude. That's not something I want to be in.
Oh, hell no.
Especially near active lava and ash.
Shit. What's up, Toy Town? What's going on, brother? How the kiddos doing?
I mean, if that's not hell on earth and you're questioning, like saying, God, hey, save me, I don't know what else to tell you, dude.
Hey, dude, that's not something the average person lives through.
What, living near a volcano of active lava?
Yeah. It's not something you go do for shits and giggles. Put it that way.
No.
Yeah. Fluffy knows it. Alf, alien life form. That show was hysterical, by the way. Remember the words of Sun Tzu, The Art of War? Yes. And I say that about our politicians all the time. Look at the border issues. They are more than willing to burn this country to the ground as long as they get to rule over the ashes. And that's all they're worried about.
What was that? Yeah, I remember now. Remember Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3, the one from 2011?
Oh, say that again?
There was a character. You heard of Modern Warfare 3 from 2011?
Yeah.
Guess who actually quoted that? There's a character who actually is Russian, and he actually quoted this. Let me see if I get this up and running, just so you can listen to it.
Toy Town got the kids doing right, sorting brass.
Okay, here. I think I got it here.
Russia will take all of Europe, even if it must stand upon a pile of ashes. I want the launch codes, Mr. President.
Yeah.
That's in a video game, so yeah, that just reminded me of that.
Wait, I mean, you look at, man, the streams we've done before, and you get kind of real deep into the woods when you go to listen to Yuri Bezmenov, and he's basically telling you in the 80s how culture is changing and how basically the leftists are influencing this culture and they're destroying the country. And you go from what he said in the 80s and then go to now, and it's like, holy shit. Yeah, he was right. He honestly was right.
Yep.
And these politicians, they don't care. As long as they got their power and as long as they got their money and as long as they got their control, they don't care about anything else.
Yep. You know what the crazy thing is too, Coop, about borders? Sometimes it doesn't actually make a difference about nationalities. Because you know why? In some form or fashion, a lot of times they're actually related to one another.
Well, yeah, when you get it. But here's one of the huge things about, say, a country like the United States wanting to protect its borders and control immigration. We were supposed to be this melting pot. And that melting pot was basically everybody agreed to a certain set of ideals, and we all kind of integrated together under a certain set of principles, which was supposed to be like our Constitution.
Yep.
And now what we do is we let people come in, I mean, over a border, even on visas, that bring their own country's values with them. So this neighborhood needs Sharia law, or these people want to live underneath this, and these
or
people
say another example, Mexicans bring their Mexican culture and they're only showing their Mexican pride.
Yeah, it's
like they have no interest of being an American border or being as a claimed American citizen.
No, the only way you maintain a country is to have a shared set of values, and whoever comes to the country shares those values.
Yep.
And that's the way you stay a country. That's the way you stay a republic. And our education system, and people have heard me talk about it on streams before, since before the 50s, so even starting into the 40s, and even before then in smaller doses, you had really radical so-called progressives that started teaching in these institutions. And then they raised even more progressive people, more radical people, and then those people went to teaching. And it's just become this evolution to where now you can have people, and trust me, I believe free speech, say whatever you want. But now you get to the point where you can have people just go absolutely burn a city down, which that ain't free speech. But you can have them absolutely burn a city down, and then you will have people out there defending because they're oppressed. And that's
we're upside down logic, my friend. I know.
Oh, it's yeah. My wife heard me say it the other day, and it kind of fucked her head up. The denominator is now the fractions flip. The denominator is the one that's ruling everything.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter how many people were on top. The small number is over the large number.
Yep. No, but back to the question. So I remember I was telling you about like how borders actually don't divide people. It actually just defines the country instead of the nationality.
Yeah.
The reason why I was bringing this up is because, all right, like your family came from Germany. Just a prime example, right?
Yeah.
East Germany, was it East Germany, West Germany at one point?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Berlin Wall. Yeah. Before the Berlin Wall, did you know that Germany and Poland were actually 1.1 of the same?
Getting back to it, they were very close.
Yeah. And what is Eastern European or Slav known for? It's Eastern European. But if you get a country like Poland right next to Germany, I've seen Poles with German last names, and I'm like, what's up with this? So we got Hans and you got Snitz, and I'm like, we got Polish with German last names.
It's you got to look at things in a lot of cases of more area or landmass
Yeah.
than you do looking at things like a nationality. So, like at Russia has such a large landmass that there are some Russian citizens that look more Chinese than they do what
Mongolian.
we would consider Russian.
More Mongolian than Chinese.
What are you?
My wife's over here playing raccoon noises.
Yeah, but yeah, like we were saying, even Russia. You know, I found out about Russia's history during the time of the czars.
Huh.
The third czarist or czarina was actually German. She's from Germany.
This is when you figure out that history is not this absolutely clean step-by-step thing that they try to teach you in a history book.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes back what I watched Braveheart again the other night. And one of the open parts of that movie, the narrator's talking about basically the winner gets the right to history. And that's exactly what happens. In a lot of cases. The one who actually wins the war, wins the battle, they write the history of that battle or that war.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see, oh God, it's so in our face these days. Even if you go back if you just go back to January 6th. So people freak out about January 6th. If you actually watched what happened that day, like I did, I had multiple live streams up that day. And what you saw was, at least from my perspective, you saw cops pepper spray people that never should have been pepper sprayed, and then people fought back. You saw cops hit people that weren't hitting the cops, and then they fought back. The bear spray and the mace and all that shit didn't come out from the crowd until the police actually escalated that. But if you go look at things, the narrative that's pushed this day is, oh, these people are violent from the start, and they did this and they did that. The story, you remember the story about the dude who supposedly stole Nancy Pelosi's podium?
I still haven't paid attention, dude. It was all a shitstorm. It's like, you know what? I don't give a shit at this point. I don't want to talk about it.
Well, this dude spent.
Oh, kitty cat.
He spent, I don't know how long in jail, a lot of time in solitary confinement.
Yep.
And it was pushed by the media. He stole this pedestal and all this shit. All he did was he took it from one place and moved it to another and left it and then walked out. And then they charged him with the theft of it and all this. Come to find out that the people prosecuting, the DAs and the attorneys, had the evidence. They had video of him just walking with a podium and then setting it down, and they still pushed charges that he stole it. Because it was all about the narrative. And there's so many of them like that, and I've read through so many different charging documents, and it just goes to show you the ones that are in control, they're the ones who write the history. So a lot of history that we're taught all through the years is nothing but narrative.
Well, why do you think Trump's in New York and trying to clear his name with this BS court? That's corrupted fuck, man.
Look, I was pretty much taught my entire life that Abraham Lincoln, went to the South and fought this war to free slaves and all this shit. And when you actually dig down into the facts, no, Abraham Lincoln was a fucking tyrant. And he basically single-handedly killed our Constitution.
Well, no, not just that, but he also didn't see blacks as, privileged as whites. He didn't see them equal. He just saw them, hey, we don't have certain rights like as whites.
No, they became a tool for him, and that's all they became.
Yeah.
Because that whole narrative about freeing the slaves didn't come up in any sort of writings or documents until well into the Civil War.
Yep.
It was all about the control. But we're constantly taught Abraham Lincoln, the big emancipator, and all this shit. And it's all fucking propaganda that gets shoved down our throats.
Even I have to give credit though about the Abraham Lincoln is he didn't like the war to begin with. It divided, and it literally not just divided people, it divided themselves and their own families, dude. It's like tearing part of yourself out of your body, man.
Oh, the chest, dude, I want her in jail so far or so much it ain't even funny. But Abraham Lincoln, believe it or not, the United States wouldn't be this fucked up now if Abraham Lincoln had simply went ahead and let states secede, and then they would have drawn up treaties would have been able to deal with each other, and either they would have joined back into the United States, or you would have ended up with kind of two separate countries, and it wouldn't have been what it's come down to now. You wouldn't see the racial division that you see now. And the reason I say that is because technology, though, in the way technology was progressing, slaves would have been out after just a few years, because you had the cotton gin, you had all other sorts of equipment coming
without
up.
Technology, there's no money.
and the technology would have outpaced everything.
Yeah. But no, the whole thing about that conflict is the last thing we ever want to encounter again.
Well, and that's something that
because what was it? Fuck, I forget what story this was, but pretty much there was a Union soldier. He was actually he was in between the North and the South, so he joins the Northern Armory, and guess what happens when he's actually going to combat? He sees his brother in the Confederacy.
Yeah, and there were plenty of instances of that.
Could you imagine killing your own family relative over a fucking political war, dude?
But then the point of all that is, it didn't have to happen that way. If we are a country that is governed at the consent of the governed, if I can give you consent, I can take consent away. If it is a voluntary system, then I should be able to say, no, I'm out. I don't agree to that. I'm going to do my own thing. If the states actually separated now, there is no reason that has to become some violent thing. It's just there's enough people in that state that say, look, we're done with the federal government. Here's some treaties. We can agree on things, but we are no longer going to be ruled by federal law. We're going right back to our state constitution. There's no reason that has to be bloody. None at all. Besides just control and power.
Apart from that, I just don't like people hurting brother against brother, sister against sister.
Oh yeah. And it would be unless there's a lot of things that changed, it would be that way if states actually decided, Texas, California, whoever decided to go ahead and just fuck it, we're leaving the union these days. That's the way it would be. And people freak out at the idea, well, oh God, we'd no longer be the United States. Well, we haven't been the United States in, I don't know, 150, 200 years.
The greatest generation we had last time was the Second World War, man.
Well, there's a lot of shit with that. Where we could have done things a fuckload different.
We could have actually gotten there earlier, 4 years prior, or even sooner.
Well, believe it or not, and I got to do some more research in it, but we didn't even have to get there in the first fucking place.
Well, what Germany was doing to the whole populace, man, it was unbelievable. And not to mention the Russians were always had another agenda to go furthermore in Europe.
Well, I'm not saying there's not a lot of stuff that went into it, but there were talked about agreements at the time that would have kept Hitler in his own box, and he wouldn't have been able to affect anybody else like he was, and you wouldn't have to send full military power against him. And I got to do some more research on it, so don't.
Well, it's like saying it was Japan, so yeah, I get that.
But it's basically you could look at most of the foreign wars that the United States has been involved in, and we didn't have to be there.
Nope.
In some cases, we could have just let other countries sort the shit out. In other cases, there were simple deals, diplomacy that could have been done that would have stopped it. And it's the reason when
we didn't need to go in Vietnam. You know why?
We didn't need to go into Vietnam because that was a Vietnam problem.
No, because Ho Chi Minh, believe it or not, even though before he was a communist, he was actually a friend of ours, an ally. And you know what we did? We sided with the French over them.
Yeah.
Because the French threatened us and said, if you side with the Vietnamese people, we'll side with the fucking Soviet Union. So we sided with the French.
Yeah.
And then Vietnam became an enemy of ours.
That's just one thing. If you go back and look at a lot of these conflicts, Ho Chi Minh, you go look at Saddam Hussein, you go look at Osama bin Laden, what happened? We supported these people for a given amount of time, and then something happened, and then we decided, oh, we got to go take care of that person. We supported Saddam Hussein against Iran. I mean, we knew who that dude was. Now, there's a very good argument that we shouldn't have been supporting him in the first fucking place. And just let that part of the damn world sort their shit out. They've been doing it for 3,000 years. Let them go.
Well, it's like the same thing with Mujahideen. Like, should we have been aiding them from the get-go? I don't know.
Oh, and I mean, Osama bin Laden.
He was an ally. He was an ally at one point.
Yeah, he was an ally. So-called ally.
An informant.
And the real fucked up thing is, and if you get just to Iraq, even first Gulf War, second Gulf War, the only people who really got truly boned in that whole situation were the Kurds.
The Kurdish people, yeah.
Yeah. And they got absolutely boned the first time. They've been boned since we left there the second time.
Where'd you buy it?
And that's... There's no way to take 3,000 years of conflict and solve that in 10 years. If it hasn't been solved in 3,000 years, it ain't getting solved next year.
Nope. It wouldn't be solved in a week or 2 days later. They wouldn't solve anything.
When you get into stuff with communism and the Vietnam War, the way you beat communism is on the battlefield of ideas and economies. That's how you beat communism.
We beat the Soviet Union with the economy.
Yeah, and you're right, Chess. That's the CIA's originally who really got us into the Vietnam War. And people don't realize we were involved in the Vietnam War in the 50s. It wasn't, and it probably might have been late 40s. It wasn't, all of a sudden we drop off at 1966 and then we're over there. We were involved in there in the early 50s, I think. I'd have to look it up. There were soldiers young enough fighting in Vietnam. And the French, I think, are the ones who did it, where they had prisoners, German prisoners, former SS, in prison, fighting in Vietnam. They basically told them, look, you can get out of this prison cell if you go fight for us. And that cranked up in Vietnam.
No, you're right about that, because I remember, I do recall the Germans recruiting Japanese, Koreans, Vietnamese, any Asian nationality. They actually recruit them and take them over to not D-Day, but the barriers, the whole island or structure above. They were putting them there.
Yeah, Indochina, Bob. You're 100% right. It was Indochina back then. And, we get our little weasel hands involved in that shit because of people like the CIA. And then we end up with, back in the day, it was 58,000 dead. It's more than that now because there are a lot of guys like my uncle who died as a result of injuries in Vietnam, but didn't die until many years later. And we're fighting communism. There's better ways to do that.
It's not just there, but you ever seen the movie Blood Diamond?
Yeah.
Same thing. I forget the actor's name, but the guy who played that soldier.
Skilly, what's up, brother? Skilly, there should be a pinned link at the top of the chat. Anybody wants to jump in, brother.
Shit, what's his name? I'm looking up right now.
So I think it's still pinned.
Because that's based on a true story, I found out.
Yeah, it is.
The guy that was in Rhodesia, I'm trying to remember his name. Danny Archer. But yeah, he actually served in the Rhodesian Wars, and he was actually fighting against communism, quote, claiming. And there was Cubans that were actually in Africa, and they were recruiting into a communist ideology and government.
Dude, you want to hear something? Hold on. Let me do some Googling for a second so I get my facts right.
I mean, there's a lot of communist countries in Africa. Angola is one of them. I don't know if Sudan is it. North Sudan, I believe, is communist. I could be wrong though. But Angola, I know, is a communist country. That's one of them.
Yeah, let me hit the old Google machine for a second. And I might not be able to find that easy because this story hadn't been talked about by a whole lot of people at all. That's not pulling up right now. Matt Gaetz brought it up in a hearing the other day. It may have been Nigeria. We had a base there for running drone strikes. About a year ago, or it was 4 years ago, we had a deal with whoever was running the joint at the time, and they wanted us there. We said they could, we could build a base, we could add them security and do all this shit because our military is running a lot of operations in Africa. And about a year ago, there was a coup. And all of a sudden, everything flips. It's been about a month ago, somewhere around there. That base was surrounded by Russian troops, and they wouldn't let any flights in or out. So our troops couldn't get medication, they couldn't get mail, they couldn't get ammo, they couldn't get nothing. And now the deal came down last week that the Russians are going to take the base over, and our guys are going to be able to exfil peacefully. But the Russians are going to take that base. And it's like a $133 million facility.
Are you shitting me?
I shit you not. Matt Gaetz brought that shit up in a hearing the other day. I didn't get to stream that hearing. I just caught bits and pieces of it and then went back and watched some of it. But yeah.
It's not the first time the Russians have taken over a base. I've seen it happen in other parts of the Middle East.
It's oh God, it was Air Base something.
Ah shit. Oh, now you reminded me something. Since we're going into this, do you know what's his name? Sean Ryan. You know Sean Ryan, obviously.
Yeah.
This really disturbed me. Let me send it to you, Coop. I'm not going to show you the full stream, but I'll send you the clip that I made off it. And they were interviewing this guy from Afghanistan because he's telling exactly what's happening inside the Middle East and Afghanistan. And this really disturbed me. Glad we brought this topic up now. Texted it to you, and you could probably pull it up on your computer if you can.
Give me a sec. So I'm trying to find this, man, and
Yeah.
I'll do this. Let me pull it up here, then I'll pull it up on the YouTubes. Oh yeah, this is the dude he just did the interview with.
Yeah, this is a snippet. I just hearing a snippet. I'm like, holy shit! Just hearing the shit come from the sky.
Hold on, that should have popped up on my feed now. Let me do something. Let me pop back over. And I'm still trying to find this clip from Gaetz.
So Matt Gaetz actually mentioned that they're being taken over this military complex that's out there.
Yeah.
Is it Russian Red Army or somebody?
It was a hearing with some of the major people in the upper echelons of the armed forces.
I mean, if Russia's taking a base in parts of Africa, that wouldn't surprise me because they got Wagner out there. Not to mention the Chinese are also spreading their influence out there.
Let me get back to the right damn tab and I'll share this.
Anyways, I'll be right back.
Because it's on one of Sean Ryan's shorts and we can share shorts.
Biden ordered the withdrawal, and it took place on August 31, 21. 2 days later, on September 2, a plane took off from China, landed in Bagram Airfield. Large, huge military installation. It's such a strategic and important location that was the U.S.'s headquarters. September 2, 2021, this plane carrying 150 Chinese, it landed in Bagram, and it started rebuilding it. Within about 2 weeks, more planes from China landed in Bagram Airfield, and since then, there has been a consistent amount of approximately 350 Chinese nationals in Bagram, and they never leave. They have no reason to leave. China is helping the Taliban build a military division. They have been giving the Taliban new technology. Huawei, a Chinese company, through Norinco, has installed over 100,000 cameras in Kabul alone, and also in elsewhere in places in Afghanistan. President Biden ordered the withdrawal.
Norinco?
Yes. I gotta go in and watch.
It wouldn't surprise me if they're giving them Type 56 AKs and Type 95 bullpup rifles. My God, man. Because when we left Afghanistan, I saw some footage, some parts, some Indian news complex. They were giving them equipment from China. And what happens then a day later? The Taliban is using their Chinese equipment they gave them and shooting the fuckers up pieces.
This is Matt Gaetz confronts Army Secretary Warmoth about U.S. troops in Niger. So it was Niger, not Nigeria. So it was in Niger. You can't get medicine. Hold on, because as long as my connection holds good, we're fixing to watch this. Because nobody is talking about it. I mean, nobody. Do a quick Google search, and it ain't showing up. This is how wild shit's getting.
I thank the gentleman. Chair now recognizes the gentleman from Florida, Mr. Gates.
Secretary Wilmoth, there's train and equipment money you're requested in this budget, right?
Certainly, Congressman.
And the train and equipment
it gets rolling.
Share is owned by the Army, right?
Yes, we certainly provide soldiers for that. Yes.
In Nigeria.
General, do you know what is going on in Niger right now?
I know there's some challenges over there in Niger right now, and I don't think that we are actually in charge of that mission that's on the ground.
Well, yeah, we just heard the secretary say you've got soldiers there, so we're gonna dive into that to some extent. Do you know what this?
So, how often do you hear about U.S. troops being in contact in Niger? I hadn't heard anything about it till this hearing.
Status of diplomatic overflights to our installations in Niger?
Yeah, I'm vaguely tracking that that's a challenge over
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not a challenge. It's binary. Are we allowed right now to do diplomatic overflights in Niger? Yes or no?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to let this play for a second. But by diplomatic overflights, what he's talking about is, can we get our troops any sort of equipment, medicine, mail, any of that? Can we fly in there and actually supply them? And this 4-star general is telling you there are challenges. It's more than a challenge, buddy.
Exactly. I'm not tracking it that close.
Do you know if we're allowed to do those diplomatic overflights?
Yes.
I don't, but I'm sure the AFRICOM commander does.
Yeah, but you guys just said it's in the budget you're asking for to do these train and equip missions. One of them is in Niger. In Niger right now, the government has stopped us from doing diplomatic overflight missions. So we have Army soldiers right now in Niger who aren't getting their troop rotations, who aren't getting their medicine, who aren't getting their supplies, who aren't getting their mail. And the 2 senior people in the United States Army are sitting before me, and it's like, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. Are you going to do anything for the soldiers that are in Niger right now who can't get medicine? Yes or no?
Congressman, certainly. We can talk to General Langley and make sure that...
Oh, I've talked to General Langley. He comes in here and never has really good answers. I mean, I asked him for information about how many of the coup leaders we had trained, including in Niger and Ghana and Mali and the Ivory Coast. And he didn't even produce his report on time. So pardon me for a lack of confidence in General Langley. What I'm telling the two of you is that you have a responsibility for these soldiers in Niger. And General, you would agree with me with the premise that we should never sacrifice the well-being of our service members to avoid political embarrassment, right?
Congressman, I will tell you, I'm not tracking that somebody in Niger is not getting their medicine or their mail, but I will follow up.
You don't even know the status
after
of
this.
diplomatic overflights. How about the great power competition? You would agree on
anybody hear about this at all? Any news stories? I don't watch mainstream news.
I
don't
haven't
really
even heard an ounce of this.
Yeah. So the first time I even heard about this was in this hearing, and this was just like last week.
Train and equip missions. We would never want Russian soldiers at the U.S. installation where we're doing train and equip, right? That's not even a tough question. You agree?
Yes.
And so if there were Russian soldiers behind the wire at Airbase 101 in Niger, where we have soldiers doing the training and equipment, that would concern you, wouldn't it? Right. Well, I'm here to tell you, we received reports that they run out of medicine in May, that they cannot get their troop rotations. And you know why you don't know that? Because it's a cover-up. The U.S. in Niger is covering it up because of Secretary Blinken's embarrassment. Because Blinken went there in March of 2023.
Oh, God, Blinken is a clusterfuck, man.
This was the model of resilience. And then, lo and behold, the very coup leader we trained takes over the country. And then we struggle with whether or not to call it a coup. We've now called it a coup. Since we've called it a coup, now they won't let us get folks in and out.
Now, again, to restate what he said right there, the very guy that we trained turned against us and then did a coup on the country. Now the entire country's flipped against us, and we have an installation sitting there surrounded by Russian troops that can't do shit.
And so I'm looking at what could erupt in another Benghazi, where there is no mission to do. There is no train and equip right now with the coup leaders. So we got a bunch of people sitting around without their supplies, without their medicine. And the whole reason intelligence isn't getting to us is because the embassy is blocking it because Blinken is humiliated that this failed. And I've used my 5 minutes on everything in the Army right now because I have constituents who are there in Niger and they're wondering how to get water. Did you know they can't even get clean water?
No, Chess, you don't.
Did you know that the partner nations that we have at that base with our soldiers, the partner nations, the Italians and the Germans, they've stopped cooperating with us. They won't even help us get provisions to
Not
our
even
troops
the French.
because of the status of forces agreement that we have with the government being deemed invalid. I am just a country lawyer from North Florida, but this strikes me as something the two of you should know about. I get the blank stares, but Secretary Wormuth, can I take as your commitment that you are going to leave here and you're going to see to the well-being of these folks in Niger and that they can get the rotations and the medicine they need?
Certainly, I will make sure they're getting the medicine and the water that they need. Yes, Congressman.
Great.
I call bullshit on that. Look.
First, an article from Politico. It's like a bad movie. U.S. officials who helped train Nigerian troops reel from coup.
Without objection, so ordered.
Russian troops arrive
pause
in
this for a
Niger as
sec?
military agreement begins, and from the BBC.
Yep.
Without objection, so ordered.
Well, yeah, I'll just stop it.
The biggest mistake he just asked right there was for her help. You know what he could have done, actually?
Well, he gets her on record, is what he does.
Yeah,
right
gets
there.
her on record, yeah. But I'm saying the best thing you could do to actually help those folks is get somebody in a higher command of the Army and go out there. Just go. Yeah, go ahead and continue.
Oh, hold on. This is April 16th.
Can't believe it's getting that bad. Here, let's see if I can find that video, by the way, of the Chinese military giving weapons to the Taliban.
This is from April 16th, so I found something. The United States was forced to stop its military operations in March 2024 in Niger. Landlocked Western African country in the Sahara Desert, Niger, not may not immediately seem like a key ally for U.S., but sir, hold on, let me share this while I'm reading it, because that way you guys can see this. And the last update I saw on this, we were walking away from this air base, and the Russians were just taking it over. Key ally for the U.S., but it served as a crucial staging ground for U.S. military to carry out work and respond to terrorism in the region. U.S. representatives are currently trying to negotiate a deal to maintain some sort of military presence in Niger. But for now, Niger's new ruling junta has declared the U.S. military presence a violation of Niger's constitution. The fate of the U.S. presence, including 2 military drone bases, so it's 2 bases, remains uncertain. Yeah, this is the kind of shit that we get buried in these days. Last I heard, the Russians that had surrounded that base had actually made a deal with us that, yeah, if all you sons of bitches leave, we'll take over the base. No harm, no foul.
This is just absolutely disturbing.
It's flat out fucking insanity. But this is the kind of shit. We always have corrupt people running this country. Always. Never fails. 95% of the people who actually get into some sort of governance in this country are going to be corrupt bastards. When you have corrupt bastards running this country who are willing to burn it to the ground just so they can maintain control, and they're spineless assholes who will let other countries run over us, this is what you get. Realize we still have American citizens that have not been accounted for since we withdrew from Afghanistan. There are still Americans missing that were taken by Taliban forces, ISIS forces, all them, sitting in Afghanistan right now, if they're not dead. Because of Joe fucking Biden and Milley and what's his name, the other fucking dumbass. Because we have people who run shit and are absolute morons.
This, because Mama said it's going to be hot tomorrow.
All right, Daddy is not a fashion guru, but it really doesn't match the blue swirly shorts. Pick one of those two and find you another partner that matches it. Okay. And Bob said they did. Yeah, more than likely. And then there were all sorts of peripheral stories that try to get buried in the background about all the Americans, students that were over there on visas, all sorts of shit that were just left behind when we left Afghanistan. And it's almost never talked about. Yeah, you're right, PLA. Nothing's been said about them from either side. So there hasn't, that we know of, I'll say that we know of, there hasn't been any videos saying, hey, we had these people and you pay money, we get them back. There hadn't been any videos like that. It's a dirty bastards running this country. Yeah, I spent a lot of time down a lot of real deep ass rabbit holes, to say the least. And the funny thing is, like the streams I do, where we're streaming Congress and we're streaming these hearings, they admit to all this shit in these hearings. Like when they said, the NSA collects every bit of electronic traffic, information traffic in the United States. They collect every single bit of it. And then it's all searchable from there. They admitted to that in a hearing. But it damn near never gets talked about. And then we're here squabbling because someone's another color than you. It's fucking stupid. Yeah, George Carlin was 100% right, Mike. And if you haven't seen the clip about George Carlin talking about the government, screw it. We might watch that in a second while the oven warms up. Because he had it 100% right. Hell, let's see if I can find it real fast. I can normally bring this clip up pretty quick. Unless my internet drops off. You seriously, Alabama House and the Alabama Senate are going right now? Oh, shit.
Great. Now we're going to get a serious more headache if it's going live now.
Yeah, Alabama Senate, and I just looked. I mean, they must have just went, or they might have started. They started since we've been on here, but here it is. This is a clip. Oh, this was on Bill Maher, of all people. I forgot about that. Because this dude is 100% spot on in this clip.
The energy policies that were created here in California, not as a result of a conspiracy, but
you don't need a formal conspiracy when interests converge. These people went to the same universities and fraternities. They're on the same boards of directors. They're on the same country clubs. They have like interests. They don't need to call a meeting. They know what's good for them, and they're getting it. And there used to be 7 oil companies. There are now 3. It will soon be 2. The things that matter in this country have been reduced in choice. There are 2 political parties. There are a handful of insurance companies. There are about 6 or 7 information things. But if you want a bagel, there are 23 flavors because you have the illusion. You have the illusion of choice. Right. You don't get the real important choice. There's no freedom of choice. That's a great point. Right.
Yeah. Tell me that dude wasn't right.
The illusion of choice?
Tell me that dude wasn't right. Yeah, Chess, brother, you were there. You know. And the shit's just it's fucking sad, man. It really is. Our country, our rulers were piss away lives all day long. Whether it's over in a war, whether it is people on the street, doesn't matter. They will piss away lives like they're absolutely free. And yeah, PLA, you're 100% right. Just want to say, man, I used to advocate for voting. 100%. Used to advocate for it. Now I'm done. Through. When we looked at everything that happened in 2020 with all the no, I'm done. Through. It's a fucking game. It is something to give the illusion that you have some say so. And I'm sorry if that kind of dissuades anybody from doing it. If you want to do it, I ain't going to talk you out of it. Go ahead and do it. I did it for years. Call me black-pilled, whatever you want to call me, but this idea that if we get the right people here, this will change. If we get the right people ain't running. The right people can't get elected. They ain't got the fucking money to get elected. Rights are not tradition. What's up, brother? Damn it, Chess, you made me lose my train of thought. I was going to show one other video before I got out of here. Oh, let's try something. We're gonna try this.
Try what?
Now, here's the deal. And call this a test. And I'll explain it in a second. Let me get past this commercial, then I'll let everybody else get past it. All right, let me post this link. I'm going to post a link in chat. And I want everybody to open this link up. We're going to try to listen to a song together. So this is kind of a test run. I want to do a music stream one night where we're listening to music together without getting copy striked, where I throw a link out in the chat. Everybody open the link. When you open the link, throw one in chat that you opened it and you're actually ready to hear the song. In other words, you got past the ad and all that. So as soon as you get past the ad, pause it. I want to do a stream like this one night where we can all sit around and jam to a bunch of songs together without getting copy struck. So if you want to play the game, open up the link, wait till you get past the ad, post a 1 in chat. When enough people hit a 1 in chat, then we'll 3, 2, 1, and we'll go and hit the song. This is a test, kids. This is only a test. Because if I can do a music stream like this one night, I may put a bunch of people, say everybody in chat after a minute, put everybody on a wheel and click the wheel. Whoever pops up on the wheel, they get to post a link, and then we'll listen to that song. Can't read. That's not wrong.
It ain't.
That's not wrong. Yep, everybody's got their phone handy. Hit it, especially if you have not heard this yet. But there will be a stream sometime in the future where we do something just like this. And say we give it a few minutes after everybody's in chat, throw everybody on a wheel. Whoever gets picked on the wheel, posts a link, and we all try to listen to it together.
I got one we could do next time.
Do we have a pair of pants or shorts that will go better with that? All right, well, let Daddy look in a second, and we'll find you a better one to go with the shirt, okay? Oh, what? Then we need to find a better shirt to go with that. That is not a fashion expert, but pink doesn't go with blue swirls.
I do have one thing we could probably do, though, Coop. Would it be a problem if we got a copyright strike, though, for this stream?
If we're playing any sort of copyrighted material, you know how that goes. That's the reason I'm experimenting with this.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's anything they can say is copyrighted, after what, 30 seconds or 10 seconds into it, that strike happens.
Yep. No, the reason I bring it up because that song is actually in relation to what we both, you and I, have described as far as, gone in foreign wars and all this other shit. And the song actually is based on that.
Yeah, I know the song, Hands Held High.
Yep. Lincoln Park.
All right. So we're going to hit it. And this is, after this, we're going to end the stream. So everybody get your hands ready and hit it. So we'll give it 3, 2, 1, hit it. Anybody catch this link, this is going to look fucked up. Hunter got home. Hunter got home. Hunter got home. Oh, he was gonna mess with her. Hunter got home. Hunter got home. Did he, Bob? Hell yeah. Hunter got real high. Super high. Give me the. Let me look through those two laundry baskets. Yeah, Hunter's the 30 smoking a bowl. You watching two screen, but then you got mad. Yeah, in there. Hey, cousins. I love it. Shout out to my brother Salty Cracker because that's where I heard that first. All right, we back, kids, and we fixing to end it.
Yep.
I gotta go take
Great
care of some
song,
kiddos.
That's awesome, man.
Oh, dude, it's hysterical, man. Like I said, if you don't follow the Salty Cracker, you gotta follow the Salty Cracker.
Yeah. We could chat after this after we're in the stream. I got another song similar to this.
Yeah, man. But anyway, everybody else, all you guys, have a great rest of the night. Get you some rest if you time to rest. Wake up if you got to wake up. And as always, keep that thing on you at all times. And you perps be cool. We are living in some very interesting times, guys. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your families. I love all you guys. And I don't know, man. We got some rough times coming, guys. So be prepared. Chess, Mike, PLA, Bob. Good God, we've had so many cool people in the chat so far. Of course, Warsaw's in here. Mike McLean. Anthony Smith, my brother, showed up. Rights are not tradition. What is happening, my brother?
Somebody got high.
And if I miss anybody, I'm sorry, guys. Fluffy Bunny Arsenal's been in here. Firearm's been in here. Tactical Skillionaire stopped in, didn't take the link. Barnaby Sanchez has been in here, another cool brother. AR Patriot was in here earlier, another very cool dude. If you don't follow AR, if you want to learn about reloading and stuff like that, AR's the dude. I'll tell you what, let me give it about 5 minutes, and all of you guys with channels, post your links in the chat. That's why you all have wrenches, you assholes. That way everybody can find you guys. So post your links. Jesus Christ. You guys are the Blue Wrench Mafia. Any of you guys that hang out long enough and are cool enough, you get a freaking wrench. Post your channels.
Oh, Coop, actually.
Yeah.
You got a big monkey wrench by any chance?
Define big.
Biggest you got, and it's polished.
I polish my wrench constantly, but it's not big.
Any possible way you could blue the thing?
Any possible way I could what?
Blue it. You know, cold blue it.
Blue it? No, I wouldn't go cold blue. I'd go hot blue, but
you know what I'm saying? It'd be like your YouTube prop right there for you.
That is you are right. That might lead to an idea, Warsaw. Thank you for that one. Yeah. Huh? I don't know whether we got any left, baby. You're gonna have to look. Hey,
actually, shit.
Where's that?
What was I thinking?
Hold on. I'll find it in a second. I think I had part of a ginger ale left. Why don't you wear that tomorrow? No, the camo.
It's gonna be hot tomorrow.
Still pants and a t-shirt.
Tomorrow I'm gonna wear shorts.
You want to wear shorts tomorrow? This is what we're hooked on. All right. Well, we're gonna have to find shorts for you to wear tomorrow.
Yep, but I was thinking, so a big blue wrench that's polished, and you could hot blue that motherfucker where it's so blue and it's exactly like YouTube, man.
Hey, look, if I can't hot blue it, I will Cerakote it blue. Well, yeah, that's what I need to do. You're right. I need to like Cerakote or hot blue a damn big blue wrench because and that's one thing I'm serious about. All you guys that come in that hang out, they're good dudes that prove that you may have differing opinions about some things. That's we can differ about opinions, but if you prove you're all about individual and freedom and stuff like that, you're going to get a wrench. And I want you to post your channels. I want you to post links. The only time I would crack down on something is if someone's posting some racist shit. You're going to get on my fucking nerves. But if you're out there and you're posting stuff about freedom and liberty and individuality and stuff like that, you guys already know. We can disagree about one thing or another. But I want you posting links in the chat. And that'll probably fry me with YouTube one day because the way their rules are getting. But I really don't give a shit. Why are you bringing me a stuffed alligator? Or that's kind of a crocodile.
This is Bob.
That's Bob?
Yes.
When did you name him?
4 years ago.
4 years ago? I didn't think you named him Bob.
Coop, now you got me thinking.
I named him Bob.
What?
Okay, blue wrench 1911 grips.
Okay.
That could work too. I really do need to take that 1911 I got. I need to take it down and do something with it.
No, I don't think a wrench. Could it be good for a grip if you're gripping the thing?
Depends on the wrench. There are big wrenches and small wrenches. And
No, but I'm saying you'd probably just epoxy, right?
Yeah, it all depends on how you did it. You could actually take, say, a set of 1911 grips and route out the outside of or the outline of a like box-in wrench or an open-in wrench. And if you inset them and then actually ground things down and smooth everything out, yeah, it'd be workable.
I'm liking the ideas now, thanks to the Blue Wrench Mafia.
Yeah. Well, pretty much everybody in chat, man, it's been here for a little while. You guys are all going to be part of the Blue Wrench Mafia.
See if we can engrave that into the wrench. Blue Wrench Mafia.
I can't remember who said that first. I can't remember whether it was Bob. I don't know. I can't remember who mentioned it first.
Which Bob?
It may have been Bob or Zany Misfit. Could have been him too. And they're typically the one I had someone in as a mod. They're like, "Welcome to the Blue Wrench Mafia," and I was like, that just caught on. So, yep, all you guys, welcome to the Blue Wrench. Yep, Bob said it. Yep. Welcome to the Blue Wrench Mafia. Hang out for a little while. You're getting a wrench. Because I do want that. I do want the chat to be like a fucking mosh pit.
Have wrenches.
So, yeah, well, when we get on something, there are a lot of people that hear about stuff that I don't hear about. You know, because as much as you try to focus on everything, you miss stuff. Like, how many people heard about this fucking base in Niger?
Or how about the incident with Alabama with their fucking gun proposals?
Yeah, I didn't hear about it.
And you got a vinyl Republican backstabbing you.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that until you sent it to me. And I look at Alabama's legislature every other day. So that's why I say that. Why are you?
I missed.
And Coop, this is what it's about.
Like graze some hair. What are you slapping me with?
Bolt stop. Where the hell is the 40X?
Closet by the safe.
Okay.
And I was going to say, this is what it's about. We're supposed to look out for one another. It's not about, oh, your state sucks. Your state sucks. No, we're all here together.
Dude, that's why I try to cover everything coming out of all these other states, because it's not just, you know, if I wanted to be the dickhead and I could be like Alabama and I don't give a shit about these other states, that's not the way I want to be, because this shit's coming to Alabama unless we can actually get to a point where it's not feasible for them to do anymore.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, we're all in this together.
Yeah. I don't know what's all right. I don't know what size Allen wrenches I got next to me. Anyway, I'll tell you what. Let's end this. Huh? Like I got the 332nd Allen wrench shoved up my ass. Let me shit that out for you. I'm PWEDC in this joker right now. All right. Anyway, you guys all be cool. Let's go ahead and end it. I already said it, but yeah, you guys keep that thing on at all times. I love all you guys. We'll catch you on the next one. War, give me a second. And
keep it in your desk at work.
hold on. I might. Hold on.
Yes, give me that.
There might be a 332nd in that set. If it's not in there, it's in the back of my truck. Welcome to my life, guys.
No, that wasn't the size I needed.
Love you guys. You guys all take them easy, man. I'm going to Shayna. Now Shayna shows up. Did I say it right this time, Shayna? I don't want to get slapped around like Skilly.
I volunteer.
Yeah, she volunteers.
Whatever you want.
You chessboard 10mm socket. Yeah, good luck finding that. And for those of you who aren't in the know, 10mm sockets, they disappear.
Got it.
Why my wife whacks a gun on my desk.
That's how you get it out.
Oh, when you take it apart, I can show it off. Take it apart. Hurry up. Come on. You're a gunsmith.
Yeah, this bitch is bedded in there very nicely.
Yes. This is a 40X. It's a Remington 700 action competition barrel that's been turned down.
It's just a lot of the Remingtons they have
Got
interchange
some.
700 series.
Got a few mods to it.
Did they ever fix that safety issue they had on them? Because I know Remington had that issue.
There were a few that had that issue, but for the most part, they're solid. I've never had a single issue with my 700, and my 700 is a fucking Walmart special.
What are you talking about? The triggers on?
Sha'ana. I'll try to remember that. Sha'ana. I'm going to start calling you that. Let me copy that into a Word document, so every time I see you, I can say Sha'ana. Alabama pronunciation. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hammer,
now she wants a punch and a hammer.
I'm asking, please.
Here's the hammer.
I'm sick of doing these. I've done at least 4 of these today. I've about done that.
No, that's not a punch. This is my life. Welcome to. Ow! Squeeze my finger. Where is it? Oh, there's the punch.
3 of these.
Most of my gunsmithing stuff's over there at my folks' place where I gunsmith. So normally I could just pull out drawers on a toolbox. Now I'm just pulling them out on a desk. Anyway, guys, I do got to get out of here. I got to throw some pizzas in the ovens for the kiddos and stuff. I love all you guys. Every one of you guys. Be careful, guys. We got some rough times coming. So keep the family close. Keep the friends close. Take care of yourselves. And definitely keep the guns close, because God knows where this stuff's going in the next little while. I am out, perps. Love all you guys. Later.